and welcome to the stream. And I'm giving production a hard time apparently because every time they try to start the stream, I had to adjust a little thing on myself. But we are here, Rev. We are back in the studio. We are back once again. The studio being us two online, and we have a Greek team in the playoffs. And look, what can I say, right? I feel like most of my casting time of Greek teams have been in the playoffs, and they have been with yourself.
I mean, yeah, and most of them were not a fun time for me, at least. Like, how do you have a team who refuses to lose versus everyone and suddenly goes twice to 0 in 2 days? I am extremely depressed. I have a doctor meeting afterwards. I'm gonna get like clinically approved with this place. But now it's a new day, and a new shipment of copium was just has just arrived to my house. So I'm ready. I freshen up, and I'm looking forward to do what WLGaming can do to disrupt the game, because Back to the Game are the heavy hitting favorites in this matchup.
Oh yeah, Back to the Game. They I feel like they move into most matchups being the favorites, except for maybe against 0-10 and Big, who obviously have made their way through to the next stage. Big obviously beating Back to the Game in their way here, but right now, WLG, it's their time to shine. It's their time to really show what they've done, because I will say they had quite a good season, right? Like, it wasn't the worst. Like, they went 6-8, so almost completely even. They definitely have showed some prowess. The Ezreal going to be locked in early, though. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like it's kind of straying away from the main picks that we've seen across the roster. I feel like the Jins have been looking really strong, but you know what? Maybe they want to put XD on something where they can kind of allow for the rest of the team to kind of rotate. Cozy going to be able to pick up the Yone for Sizith, and Shazku going to be taking the Sejuani, a combination that we saw a lot yesterday.
Yeah, and let's not forget that it's a team, once again, who are still changing the roster. So Ecstasy joined, Sipsy joined, their bottom lane is completely changed. So the playstyle through bot will completely change as well. You're talking about the Jhin. I also remember Nautico's Kalista, who could play into an Ashe and Malphite, nothing to scoff at over there. But right now, they are looking to adapt to the new reality, and the new reality is Ezreal Leona, something we haven't seen in a while. But let's not forget, after the first Ezreal buffs, we were all talking about how scary this duo is in the laning phase.
No, it can really do a lot. Obviously, the risk that you do run with Ezreal is that getting through minion waves can sometimes be a bit of a difficult one, in the sense of, obviously, if you're fighting in the minion wave, you can lose a lot of damage just from it being blocked. So with the Leona, hopefully they can kind of find those openings where there is a little bit of open ground, and Ezreal won't have to kind of weave these mystic shots through crowded traffic. However, we are going to see the Kaisar picked up, a much easier one in the all-in, but obviously a little bit less range, so could definitely get bullied in this bot lane as we do go to the second round of bans. Draven taken off the board is not what I was expecting.
I mean, they are respecting the flex potential for the Ezreal. Mentos is a player who is known for his mages, so his Hui and his Azir are maybe his best picks, but he has adapted pretty well to the marksman mid lane meta, which is not completely out of the window. They're still played a little bit. Even the Kai'Sa is played in the middle right now with the full AP build, you know, just Muramana, spamming W's and whatnot, being as annoying as possible. So with the Draven ban, I'd expect the Kai'Sa to go towards the bottom lane. Since you already have the Yone as well, you're just allowing Cozy to get his potential counter picks, unless you see a full tank top lane in which you can just slot in the Yone as well. And they are respecting every lane Punisher ADC, which would be a complete issue if the Kai'Sa stays in the bottom lane as well.
Yeah, at the moment, though, the other side, WLG really banning out Cozy there, taking away the Poppy and the Kennen. Admittedly, not things that Cozy necessarily has played a lot, so I am surprised. I feel like when I think Cozy, I'm thinking more Camille, the Fiora, things that actually would go really nicely with the Sejuani as well. So maybe there's a specific plan for WLG of what they want. Obviously, the Poppy would be pretty nice against things like the Vi and the Leona.
Yeah, it feels very hard to play with a Poppy like that. But the Poppy will not go through. I think the Poppy was also a flex ban. You can also flex it into the support, fine into the Leona, a little bit whatever, versus the Ezreal, but the Leona can't really play the game because she can never engage unless she walks all the way over on the top of you. Still, they're kind of very nice flexible option, can sustain through the lane, can find some engage, and a really, really annoying flanker that you always have to keep in your mind. But I am a little bit worried about the Azir right now, because you do have a lot of range, but with a lot of commit. So you do suffer a little bit of a split identity syndrome as WLGaming, with half of your team wanting to dive and the rest just staying at an arm's length, just trying to be as safe as possible while dishing out damage.
The Jax there picked up, and I do like Jax. I feel like we've seen quite a few good Jaxes, but Vista as well, I feel like has popped off on Jax before, right? There have definitely been some games where that Jax has just absolutely rampaged through the town. And we will see what the answer from Back to the Game is. Fiora going to be locked in. Like I said, Cozy, very much known for the Fiora. Good into the Jax, although a little bit of a skill matchup, though, with the riposte and Counter-Strike being the main situation that you have to kind of run with. But ShazQ, I feel like being on that Sejuani does give a lot of agency to both Sizith and Cozy right now, with the fact that they are melee, with the fact that it's going to be a lot of auto attacks quickly, and the setup is just super nice.
Yeah, especially I think that the Q from both of those champions count as enhanced auto attacks. You can stack the Permafrost almost immediately as soon as the Sejuani shows herself. You can immediately CC the enemy member that you're looking at. Now, the bad thing is, you're kind of full melee, right? Dragan, mostly melee. The Kaisa is one of those champions who, in spite of their range, you're considering them to be a melee champion because, you know, they are very, very short range, but they're looking to dive. So if they have the first move, Back to the Game should be a very, very scary team. But what I'm worried about is, what if they don't? What if at any point the game just kind of slips from their grasp and they have to run an answer to WLGaming? Will it be enough? That's number one. And number two is, if you're just kind of ahead and you're trying to siege, how do you do that?
Yeah, I definitely get where you're coming from. I feel like split pushing might be their game, right? Like, you got Yone, you've got Fiora, expecting a lot of priority on the grubs because of this as well. Kaisa, Rakan can kind of keep it pretty safe themselves. So I feel like split pushing is what I'm expecting. Like a 1-3-1 or at least a 4-1 is kind of the situation I'm going with, because I do agree with you, right? It's going to be hard to siege. It's a Zir, right? Like it's never easy to play against the champion. Ezreal as well, really long range. And then on the top side, it's like, okay, you got Jax. So realistically, if they can beat the Jax, they do cut down the attempt at the split push from the side of WLG as well. So I do wonder exactly how, as you said, they're going to make it happen, because yeah, if it is a stalemate at that 20-25 minute mark, well, the favor does seem to go towards WLG, especially from like a macro opportunity standpoint. Obviously, team fighting is always going to be down to execution.
Yeah, for sure. I'm also thinking about that split push is, you really want to get ahead, because if you get ahead, then you do have a split push edge with the Yone and the Fiora. Otherwise, the Jax is as useful in the split push scenario, maybe even more. And the good thing with the Jax is he's way easier to execute in a team fight, right? We've seen multiple Fioras, and when we're seeing a Fiora approaching a team fight, there's like border control with the, hey, can we check your ID? Are you Chinese? If you're not Chinese, your champion is useless in the team fights. I don't know how they do it, but they do. They just have more fingers and more brain activity than the rest of us on those top lane carry champions. But the thing is, right now, I've yet to see a Fiora in the ERL levels decimating a team fight. So in my head, the Fiora is like, okay, I'm looking for a flank, I'm looking for a 1v1, 2v1 scenario. And if you're even with the Jax, you're just playing a poker game where your enemy has 10 cards in his hand and you only have the 2 from the Texas Hold'em.
I'm trying to think who was the really good Fiora player in the NLC, and I literally, like, it's the name has completely forgotten my mind. I will try and look up who it was, because they were very good. And I used to watch
Banderas?
them. Yeah, Banderas. Yeah, Banderas was a good Fiora. Like,
yeah,
that...
he played in GLL as well. And thing is, I never saw his Fiora actually approaching the teamfight. He's a very good Fiora player. He knows the mechanics of the champions, and he's very smart about his map movement. So his silent pressure is very good. But he's also always dependent on his team, because I remember a couple of sad games where he's on the Fiora, something like 5-2-1, something like that, decimating the silent, and then the game slightly like slipping through his fingers, because his team is getting engaged upon time and time again, and he has no time to actually set up the pressure on the silent or start sieging on those towers. And a 5-2 Fiora, if gets approached by, I don't know, 3 fed carries, can deal with all of them.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see how this one plays out, though. 2 big carries in the solo lanes coming in from Back to the Game, and to be honest, they are going to be matched by WLG. We do have to remember how good is it at clearing waves, so maybe the split push gets stopped by the Emperor himself. But with that being said, at the moment, no shenanigans in the early game. It looks like both junglers going to be starting on the top side.
Yeah, at least for now. I don't necessarily think that the Sejuani wants to be pathing towards the bottom lane. They are gonna get pushed into, most likely. They do play with only one combat summoner, same as WLGaming, you'll say, but WLGaming still has that range advantage, still has the tankiness advantage as well in the early game with the Aftershock. So maybe you wanna pass towards the top side and try to influence that really volatile matchup, right? Because 1 or 2 kills or missing a couple of waves can swing this matchup very, very heavily.
Yeah, also new implementations to the roster. We'll see how that one goes out, right? Because obviously new roster changes can bring new flavors. Not necessarily always bad, but obviously starting to gel together, getting used to that stuff is going to be important. We're actually seeing the invade coming out from Shazku there. Back to the game. Going to start on the top side indeed, but not necessarily pathing down bot side. They will just clear on the top side. I believe it's not vertical, it's horizontal jungling. And we'll see if there is a thought for Carnage that maybe the top side is not as safe as it seemed.
I mean, I missed the minimap, but I didn't see any pinks in their jungle, I think. Or maybe one question mark, something like that. So it really depends, right? Do you have any time from your solo laners to go and check what's going on in your quadrant, or you'll need to face check yourself? Because if you face check yourself, you're already so far behind. And look, the Sejuani, especially with a slight leash from a person with an auto attack enhancement ability, can clear so much faster than you. Carnage has just started red buff, and Sashku is already exiting the enemy jungle.
And may even just go straight up to the top side, to be honest, because you're not expecting the Sejuani this early if you're Babista, and also losing out on this trade already. Cozy putting the pressure down. Babista gonna dash away, does have counter strike, so will not need to flash. The leap strike covering enough distance, but again, put at a disadvantage here.
Yep, very hard to play the game right now. Maybe you'll need to immediately blow off the teleport. Now you still don't have anything to buy, I think. You don't even have the currency to go and buy a refillable potion. Oh, that's a lot of damage.
In the bot side though, Accorda might be having no currency of health, because Accorda is going to go down. First blood to Ecstasy, and Carnage now going to be making a gank into the mid lane as well. Saw that the top side jungle is gone, and making some big decisions and making some big plays.
Yeah, I want to see if Carnage will go and invade the enemy jungle right now, especially with Rakan not having flash, not having his life, and his team getting prio. I'd love to see him go and steal at least one camp. I don't think he has enough time to go and get all 3, so he'll still be behind in his income, but I want him to go and at least try and equalize the situation a little bit.
May not even get to steal 1, because Shazku did rotate completely across, and Cozy showing prowess on this champion, getting the stun on the counter-strike. The nice riposte there will carry them through. Actually, it does look like Carnage has gained control of the blue buff and should be able to pick that one up.
Yeah. However, Sisyph walking over there. No flash, no teleport. He's just there to provide a little bit of pressure. They're betraying the camps. Okay, everything's fine. Unless Accorda is looking to engage.
Ooh, Accorda still level 2. No HP. Just an easy pickup for Ecstasy.
That's a little bit weird from Accorda, disrespecting the enemy team like that. Yes, Sashku also used his Q, but he still has flash, he can still go towards his mid laner. He went there having nothing. Does he even have the Grand Entrance? Because he's still level 2.
I'm not sure, to be honest. Like, it's just a bit of a weird decision, because, like, okay, the Sejuani comes over, gets the crab. That's kind of it. You don't need more than that. The fact that they were even playing up and Lothan didn't even move, it was a little bit of a strange decision in my eyes. Is Cozy, and with a pretty nice wave in front of them, did TP back to lane here, but no TP for Babista, and in a pretty bad state at the moment. Yes, has the level advantage, but now being ganked by Shazku once again. Counter-strike to be utilized to buy the space that is needed to get away. But Rev, it is rough up top side for this Jax.
Yeah, I think rough doesn't even begin to describe it right now for Babista. He is still fine in terms of CS, right? But I know we can look at the wave again, but I think it's stuck frozen there. They know that Shazku is top, and Babista has 2 options. Either he abandons 3-4 waves of gold and half of it of XP, because you will be getting zoned by Cozy and Shazku, or you're trying to do the hero play and force a wave in. You will be most likely donating a kill as well, but at least you will be kind of back in the game afterwards. You're donating 300, 450 gold to the enemy top laner, but then the wave is at an even state and you can try playing with a handicap, but still kind of play the game, because right now you're not playing the game.
Yeah, this is awful, right? Like, I think everyone has had a top lane game at one point where this happens, and it's just like, yep, might as well load up something, like watch some TikToks, because you're never playing. You're like, it's just disastrous. What I will think though is, what is the counter, right? Is there a world where Babista could actually just now start roaming with Devi, start playing with Carnage, and try to maybe like disrupt Shazq or the mid lane, or is it just a sentiment of you need Carnage to do the reverse and actually come play for Babista?
I mean, I think this play, what they're doing right now, is pretty fine, because they're getting one grab, they know that they don't have priority, but look what they forced, because Mentos showed himself in the grabs as well. You're forcing Cozy to stop the freeze. You don't want the wave to stay there, you don't want it to suddenly collapse in your tower, so he's pushing the wave, and with him pushing the wave, Babista can just return. So right now what happened is that Carnage kind of sacrificed himself for his top lane. He's still a level behind, he just reached level 5, and he still will get pressured, but now his top laner can start getting back in the game.
An important sacrifice indeed, as obviously Vi needed in the early game, not necessarily in the mid, as right now we are going to see a nice team fight here. Cozy trying to get aggressive onto Carnage here, looking for the kill. In comes Babista to turn it around. Cozy maybe in trouble here. Mentos picking up the first kill of the fight. Back to the game that wants to lose the first blood in this one. And now the Leona walking them down, gets the stun. That's another land onto a quarter, and Jax picking up a kill is massive right now for WLG. Sizith though, coming back in, looking for the knockup, gets it. Mentos throws him in the air though. Cozy in a little bit of trouble here, will have to riposte, buy some time, buy some space. Not enough though. The Emperor slides the guards through, and it's an easy cut to kill.
Oh, that's a very nice trade from WLGaming. They're getting 3 for only 1. And can we talk about how much of an MVP performance is that from Gypsy so far in the game? 4 out of 6 KP. He started all of that. He was first on the move, so a quarter, although his champion is way more mobile, was late, but now, never mind.
The trade back. Carnage will be going down. Surely. Yeah, finally will fall down. Scissors picks up that kill, and the Yone starting to get a little bit stronger. Gypsy, though, is there to stun up Shazq, and they do have to be careful, because Mentos is doing a lot of damage at the moment.
Yeah, they are doing a lot of damage, and those are the little bits of slip-ups from the side of WLGaming, especially Carnage. He's still growing his playstyle like that. He's trying to challenge his limits, and sometimes the limit end up challenging him. Shazq was just a slither of XP ahead. He was not expecting the level 6, got Glacial Prison, and got executed. So they're coming back in the game. The goal lead, although there's a 4 kill difference, is less than 1k, and Back to the Game are in a pretty fine spot still.
Also the dragon picked up by WLG, and a trade of split grubs there. So 2-1 over Back to the Game. So I am still interested to see how that top side plays out, because I feel like surely there's got to be a lot of pro on this second spawning of grubs, right? I think it goes so well for Back to the Game if they can manage to get 4. Also, that does potentially put a bit of pressure onto WLG to match them the same. However, with that being said, we're not going to have to worry about that for a little bit. Dragon is going to be spawning in 1 minute 15. And this one is going to be a Hextech, I believe. Maybe it's Chemtech, actually. I'm not really sure, because we don't have the icon.
Yeah,
either way, definitely one that could be worth. As Mentos going to get into a bit of a trade with Sizith. I feel like at the moment, it does just seem to be a nice setup for WG. Even though Back to the Game aren't out of it, they put themselves in a good position.
Yeah, they are kind of abandoning the Drake, at least so far. Usually you want to be there at least 15-20 seconds earlier to start face checking a little bit. You don't want to face check when it's just the last moment, right? Because then you are really prone to getting just turned on, collapsed upon, and executed. And WG are in a prime position to just get this Drake if Carnage wants to commit, because I'm looking at Carnage. He's going towards his top shade jungle, and he has scams there. And the Drake will be spawning in 20 seconds. So if he goes towards the Grom, he will be quite late to the play. But if he doesn't move towards the Grom, his clear will get kind of ruined, right? Because then you have to go collect the Grom. There's nothing else on that side of the jungle. So he is between a rock and a hard place, and he's trying to flip his way around the play.
Ooh, talking about flipping it. Here's Carnage, going to make a big play onto Sizith, but there's the return. The Glacial Prison locks them down. Sizith with the damage, and it's a double to Shazku.
Oh, that was not his lucky coin. It was just a coin, and Carnage together with Mentos end up dropping. They're giving 2 very important kills to the side of Back2TheGame, and they are, as their name suggests, back in an even spot in that game, at least gold-wise. They will collect the second trio of grabs as well.
Damn.
And they'll be starting to hurt the enemy structures.
Man, Good Fury is such a nasty pick. Like, Cozy getting off like 3-4 extra autos when Babista is basically looking for just like 1 is insane.
Yeah.
Grub's going to be taking though. 5 grubs to back to the game. They now have that buff. As we do see Dragon has spawned. It is going to be the Chem Tech that is actually up for grabs. And I do wonder if there's any priority, because I would have thought Carnage would have been all over it. But they obviously went for that play in mid as we get a solo kill in the top side from Babista.
Yeah, and Carnage is there, so Carnage will be doing absolutely nothing. In this time, we'll reset, we'll try to spare his tempo a little bit, but I think he's really behind the play. I also expected Carnage to go for that Drake. Maybe they just don't like the Chemtech so much, but they had bot prio, they had mid prio, they could play, which they don't right now.
Okay, we got the jams on.
Yeah.
The vibes adding to League. You know what? I feel like League maybe should add some background music. Now that I think about it.
What do you mean, Seraphine?
Yeah, that's true. But this is kind of vibey. Like, imagine like you're walking around the riff with this going on. Like I'm kind of vibing to it, you know.
Wait,
you play with music on, right?
Yeah, play with music on. Have you played the True Damage Echo skin?
Yes, I love that skin.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It has some like very sick beats going on, and especially like when you have your ultimate on. I don't know how it understands when a play is about to happen, but I feel like the beats go further down and they become like sick.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like, I don't know if people at home can hear the music, but it almost feels like we're now having to cast on beat a little bit. It's kind of hilarious to me, but it's setting up. It's very epic. Like, the music is quite epic. Not what I'm used to casting with, but you know what? I'm kind of here for it. As we are going to see a play for Cozy moving forward. A quarter is in the vicinity, so is Chipsy, but it's not going to land. And it will just be a null trade in the end. We are going to see Herald, though, spawning pretty soon. Shazku is moving up, but it is going to be a 3 versus 4 at the moment in favor of Back2TheGame.
Yeah. There. Chipsy will have to flash, or maybe he won't.
Ooh, Chipsy, I don't think gets the opportunity. He's going to try and walk this one out. Ignite ticking over. Shazku going to pick up the kill, and that sets up for an easy Herald play here. I don't really feel there's much contention from Carnage, which makes me think, like, is there potentially other ways that we could see this vibe being utilized? I feel like we haven't seen the massive early game that we would have wanted.
Yeah, it's getting harder and harder because they are getting equalized. However, if you're not looking at specific individuals for the side of Back2TheGame, I feel like they are still not having everything that they've ever wanted. Oh, that missed. Wait, he's in trouble.
Ooh, is it in trouble?
Oh!
See, doesn't land though, and neither does the True Shot Barrage. It will just go wide. Mentos taking quite a bit of damage from the Glacial Prison there, but not locked down. And Sizith able to heal up so much from this Raptor camp. So it's going to be back into the game. Now we are going to see the Herald being started up actually by Carnage here.
Yeah, somehow they get the first move over there with Chipsy having respawned. He kept his flash for that play, will have access to his ultimate in a few seconds time, and he is kind of playing the role of the bouncer as the end of the team are looking, hey, that's a tasty Leona, and they never face check.
We finally lost the music there. You know what? I was kind of enjoying it on the low, but either way, It's gone now. And we are back to the normal silence and just us to talking, Rev. We're back to the talking. And I've got to say, Mentos, you know, an apt name, because it's always refreshing to watch them play.
Oh, yeah, but what happens, like, if suddenly he meets another mid laner named Cole or something?
Yo, that lady's going to be explosive. I love it. That's actually crazy. I've never thought of Cool on that one. That's good. I like that from you. Caesar, though, trying to get aggressive with it, but there's so many members here. The damage, the Suns, it's all too much. They're only going to go down, and that will be first brick over to WLG. They managed to get the Herald. They got the first tower, and they are keeping this gold lead, Rev. Like we're saying, Back2TheGame and making a lot of good plays, but WLG are extending that gold lead now, 1.4, 1.5 thousand in the lead.
Yeah, and you know what weirds me out? I always saw like the Fiora being ahead. Oh, never mind.
Oh, we might be seeing someone else get ahead there. Lothar looking for the kill. Ecstasy will take one more shot, and that will be all she wrote.
Yep, a nice shutdown to collect from low. Then he will get his second item a little bit faster than his enemy counterpart. Very nice for him to pick it up with the enemy team just overloading the top side for so long. But yeah, what I was weirded out about is I was seeing Fiora having the upper hand for quite a lot of time in the top lane. But Cozy's tower was the one always under fire. Now Cozy's under fire.
Cozy in trouble. Does manage to riposte onto the Leona, but is it going to be enough of it? So moving forward, the damage cannot be blocked. The leap strike in, the kill secured. And I've got to say, man, for Vista, I think is one of the best Jaxes that we have in the EPL. Because genuinely, I feel like we see a lot of Jaxes in pro play not really do a lot. You know, they're just kind of there. They do okay. They even out the lane. But Vista always seems to be slamming the lamp down.
I mean, yeah, he is an excellent Jax player, honestly. He's a very good carry player as well, like in general. And I feel like he's experienced in playing the lane. Oh, wait, Mentos! I thought he was about to die, and then suddenly there's an Emperor's Decree over there.
Yeah, the divide really showing the difference between the two mid laners, and Sisyph, I feel like just trying to overstep there. It does feel like Back2TheGame are playing quite proud in a way. Like they're very much like, yeah, we are better, we're going to make these proactive plays, which has burned them a lot, right? I feel like a quarter in the early game was doing those kind of things and lost out, and now we're starting to see it with Sisyph on that tower dive. However, this doesn't stop WLG maybe overstepping here as they are moving forward, but maybe the turnaround can come. But Vista is in the backline looking for Lothar, and the True Shot Barrage takes a lot of damage out of Back2TheGame, but they haven't found a kill just yet. Shazku trying to flash away, but into the Jax they go. The Quickening able to hold out a little bit longer, saves the jungler, but will not keep the Rakan alive.
Sisyph is in a weird spot. I'm not sure. Yeah, he teleported in, but he could not connect to the fight, so they're losing one more summoner. But they're trading 1 for 1, and they're getting a tower as well. And unless WLGaming will pry this tower open, they will be on the back foot in this trade.
Tower does fall. Dragon is up as well. Mountain Soul is what's for grabs, and I feel like no one is ever turning down one of those.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, everyone thinks that Mountain Soul is one of the best scaling souls, but I think it's the opposite. He's one of the best early game souls. Yeah, because look, if you're starting to overload on armor, after a point it gets diminishing returns, right? Like,
yeah,
up until 100 or 150 armor you're getting the same, and then afterwards every piece of armor will give you less actual resistance to damage, right?
Yeah.
So think of it that way. When you're early game, you don't have a lot of passive armor, so you're getting a little bit of extra armor and you're getting a lot of resistances. Later on, you get the passive armor, all of the champions get to over 100 armor or something, so you're kind of capping yourself immediately, especially with defensive boots being so prevalent in the meta.
But I feel like Mountain Soul, you know, with the shield?
Yeah, the shield is nice, but I'm talking about the stats. Because
yeah, the stats itself, I do get what you mean.
Yeah, think of Infernal on the other hand. Like, damage never caps. The more damage you have, the more damage you do.
True, actually. Hey, you're right. Check that one out. Check that one out. No, I'm joking. But either way, I will say, though, like, you do get the at least I understand what you're saying about the actual armor and defenses not stacking, but the shield does stack. However, hold that thought 1 second, because we are seeing a lot used to try and get Vista there. Accorda popping the ultimate already, and they are going to keep playing for this. I do wonder if they're going to go all the way with Shazku maybe dropping it. Grand Entrance is going to be utilized. There's the Glacial Prison. They are going to use all 3 ultimates for this play, and they still haven't killed him. Finally, Vista will fall down, but a lot utilized for that, and they've given up so much pressure in the mid lane. Tier 2 will be traded back.
Yeah, tier 2 in the top lane as well, because they needed so much time to kill Bobista, and they were lucky as well, as Bobista was not expecting to get locked down when he did, and did not pop the ultimate before that, because his resistances would have skyrocketed there. So they're trading 1 kill for 2 tier 2, and they get 1 tier 2 as well, so as a kind of tip, but right now I think they're still very behind the play.
Ooh, Lothan taking a bit of damage from Carnage, but able to return fire. Cozy was under the tower already, and Carnage gonna have to flash away there. Will get safely out. Obviously having to use that flash could be significant. Baron has spawned up Dragon next in 3 minutes. And all in all, I will say it feels like a very even game, even though there is a 1.5k gold lead over to WLG.
Yep, they're still keeping that same goal lead. I feel like throughout the whole game, the goal lead has fluctuated between 500 and 2k gold for WLG. I don't remember back to the game getting an actual gold lead at any point in the game, but with the goal being at the same point, it means less and less in each passing minute. So back to the game, I feel like they're still pretty fine, right? And you're looking, they do have some carries. Sisyph has donated 3 kills, but he's still 2 items strong, same as Mentos, and Mentos is 3-1 and 3. You're looking at it and you expect him to be stronger. The 2 marksmen are on the same spikes, and I dare to say that Lothan has spiked slightly harder with that blasting one. If he gets an extra amplifying tome, he will have the W upgrade as well, and WLGaming does recognize that, so they're trying to force situations now before they spike even harder.
Jashku looking for the backline, lands on XT, but Cleanse will give him the option to get away. Scissor taking a lot of damage. That is a beautiful Ezreal ultimate there. The Triple Rush going through the whole team. Scissor in the backline cannot get the kills needed, but the front line will be removed. XT now dashing forward with Vista in the mix. Counter strike to buy space, but it doesn't matter. Cozy coming out strong. Scissor now in trouble because in goes XT diving forward to pick up the kill. A 3 for 2 overall so far, and I believe Back2TheGame will just be backing away. Mentor still looking strong. A quarter going in. There's the knock up. Scissor able to come forward, but it's not enough. Cozy trying to close it out, but the Azir, the Emperor, it's too much damage. Mentos pops off and will be able to pick up the ace.
And somehow WLGaming gets the fight for them. And you see what I was talking about, the Fiora. The moment all of her teammates die, she collects her kills because it's not a team fight anymore. You are your team. But in the end, Mentos gets the ace for his team, but they get nothing more from me, just slightly more gold.
Slightly more gold. It's a game of very narrow margins, right? At the moment, Rev, it's 2.5k gold in the lead, the biggest gold lead we've seen so far. Dragon spawning in 44. We're going to see the resets coming in from Mentos there after claiming quite a bit of gold in that last fight. And I feel like this is a big one, right? I think if WLG can put themselves onto Soul Point here, it really puts that pressure onto Back2TheGame, who we have talked about notoriously being strong in that mid game. We are getting to that point, but with team fights like that, WLG definitely standing a strong chance of victory.
Yep. They have gotten a little bit more of a goal lead as well. With that ace right now, Mentos has access to the Seeker's Handguard. Almost a 3rd item completed for Ecstasy as well, and Mobista way more useful in the teamfights. Let's not forget how hard it is to pilot the Fiora when push comes to shove. But look at Lothan. Recorder, sorry, he tries to look for the flank, he tries to create time and space for his team as WLGaming.
Oh, Corda going aggressive there, wasn't able to land with the quickening. And that could be a problem as Wista locking back to the game, forcing him into the back of the pit. Emperor's Divide already utilized. There's a knock onto the Azir. They're looking for the kill onto Mentos, but Stasis will buy time. But Wista now in the front line trying to save the Emperor, but will not be able to. Lothan in the back line is going to be taken down, and it's going to be a front to back from the side of WLG, but they're getting very close. They're going into melee range with Cozy. They don't care. Carnage and Mobista the last alive. The counter strike not getting the stun off, but Cozy does not need it. It's not going to be enough. Carnage does not have the damage. Shasku looking to lock them down. Low HP. Carnage with 1 rotation could potentially take someone out, but needs to land. Cannot miss the Vault Breaker and needs to just buy time. Does not have the option to go in. Will lose the Dragon, and Back2TheGame hold firm.
And all of those fights are on a knife's edge. You don't know who's gonna come on top until the fight completely ends. This one goes to Back2TheGame, and fortunately for them, this one is not inconsequential. They're getting the Drake as well. They're equalizing the Drake score and getting all of those extra resistances, and with that being the first Mountain Drake, mathematically, it's the best one.
It's kind of like chocolate, you know. The more chocolate you have, the less you enjoy it. I feel like that's Mountain Dragons. But I will say the soul, as we said, it is nice. I looked up the souls, by the way, while we were kind of talking about it. Cloud Soul is broken, right? I didn't realize this. You gain 20% bonus move speed for free, right? Just by having Cloud Soul, you know, and plus with the actual souls itself.
You mean by having Cloud Soul or by having 2 Cloud Drakes?
No, it says... It says gain 20% bonus move speed, increases 60% for 6 seconds after casting your ultimate.
Wait, and how much movement speed does a single Cloud Drake give you? Is it 8%?
Let's have a little look. It is... I think it's 5% per dragon.
Okay, so you have to at least have 2 Cloud Drakes to get to Cloud Soul, right?
Yeah.
So let's say 10% and plus a 20% of that 10.
Yeah.
So that's extra
30%.
14% from that, and that's also applied to 14% plus 20% applied on your base movement speed. My God.
Yeah.
I don't want to see a Jhin with a Cloud Soul.
It's crazy.
Full critical items. Pop the ultimate, use a full shot, and just run away.
Like, I knew you got movement speed, but I didn't realize how much movement speed you got. And yeah, now you know. Now you people at home know as well. Fight over them Cloud Souls. That seems to be some serious issues in your game, I'll be honest, because if you can run that a little bit faster, hey, yo, you know what, some of those team fights go your way. But at the moment, these team fights have been very close. But Babista, I feel like the key is keeping Mentos alive, right? We saw Babista really play for it in that last fight, trying to dive in, try and get the stun off. But Mentos is the key carry. I think that's going to be the main focus for Shazku to try and land that glacial person onto.
Yeah, the thing is, right now, Back2TheGame have a very big spike, and that's the Hullbreaker of all the Fiora. Suddenly, Cozy 7-4-2 has 3 items, and his split push is unlocked. So WLGaming are right now on the back foot. They need to respect the split push. They need to have answers, but Babista will get out traded because he has no sustain, he has no extra resistances in his build, and both of those exist in Cozy's build. And if you are trying to force the other side, you are on a very tight time budget, right? Because if you're missing from bot lane for even 10 seconds...
Cozy going to drop the grand entrance, but look at the damage! Woo! Cozy! Able to do so much. If that last proc had hit, that would have been a dead Babista.
Yeah, I says you can win. You can win. You're only there to bounce wave, and if you don't bounce the waves properly, you end up dropping both flashes traded, and that's kind of a good part for the side of WLGaming, as Cozy will have one less escape. Of course, he still has the repose, still has the Q, in order to be able to move around very, very efficiently and escape all kinds of crowd control, but I don't think that Babista can match him. I think that the only answer over there is Mentos, and that's only if he keeps himself at an arm's length.
Oh, Cozy does need to be careful. Level down, Mentos. We'll have the level 3 Empress Divide, as Baron is what is being like kind of loosely thought about, played around, I guess, because like both teams are like standing next to it like they're going to start it, and actually, you know what, it is WLG that will start it.
Yeah, I really like Ecstasy's path. He knows that this play does not belong to them, so he's going the long way around, and now they're looking to turn. Cozy teleports in.
Cozy on the TP, going to be joining slowly. Mentos did also have to TP earlier.
Oh, they saw it!
Going to steal on the Sejuani. Now the fight after. This is a big one for Back2TheGame. They're looking for the picks. Cozy onto Carnage, takes them down. Mentos in the back of the pit, though, able to do so much damage. But Sizin finally moving forward, will be taken out. And Ecstasy on the chase, but in comes the Emperor Babista, joining in as well. And together, they're getting a lot of damage down. But Lothar still alive. Quadra kill so far. The Kaisar, the Penta. It's not going to happen. Babista steps up and will finally fall down. The ace to Back2TheGame with 1 Baron buff.
Yeah, they got the Baron, he stole it, but the Pentakill did not go through, and they only keep 1 purple on their team, and that's on the jungle. Not the best case scenario for Back2TheGame, but the best case scenario for all of the viewers, as all of those fights are bangers.
So close, and I thought, okay, maybe this is the time for WLG. Mentos was in the back of the pit, untouched, no one focusing them. I thought, okay, the Emperor can get it done, but then dives over the wall. Lothar with so much damage, just obliterates anyone in their path with that Kathian Rain, as we are now seeing the Dragon picked up here. It should be in the advantage of Back2TheGame, as they are able to mobilize first. However, people are slowly but surely making their way over, and I think Carnage has no interest in this. Shazku will be able to pick this one up for free. And that will be sole point for Back2TheGame.
Yep. It's gonna be harder and harder for WLGaming to actually deal damage. They need to get their penetration items right now. The only one kind of looking towards that is Ecstasy, who only has Executioner's Calling, so not enough. And they still need to spend a lot of cash to get into a spot where they will start ignoring all of those extra resistances, right? Especially Sashku, the first 2-3 attacks he receives will be inconsequential, but there's Engage.
Ooh, Chitsy able to move forward there. Shasku was stunned up, however, a lot of damage can be done to Leona. They burst out Cozy though, and that's the Fiora gone. Shasku gonna have to flash her away. Lothan is waiting in the wings, looking Killer Instinct gonna go in, Chipsy gonna fall down, and Babissa is actually TPing away, looking to go towards the Yone there. Sizith could be in trouble as he was diving Mentos. But I think now has realized, however, it's going to have to go back to the Soul Unbound right in the face of Abista. And that will be an easy kill onto the Yone as the top side. Back we go. Tier 2 under threat. Carnage holding it with Ecstasy. So I think it will be back to the game just walking away. They understand the numbers disadvantage is not good for them. And they will just leave the vicinity.
It's a very, very chaotic game still. 25-22. That's 47 kills in 31 minutes time. Almost a kill and a half a minute. Everyone's getting closer and closer to full build, so everyone is dealing so much damage to everything, even towers and Mentos. He almost got the inhibitor tower for his team.
Army thinks he could have maybe kept going there. You know, I think he could have potentially taken that tower, but you know what? Maybe it's just not worth the risk, right? It's late game. If you lose the Azir, potentially opens up a lot of pressure and control. Even though there's no objectives on the map, you don't want to put yourself in a bad map state, as right now Cozy kind of chasing the Azir across the map. I would say Cozy got absolutely obliterated in that last fight. If he ever gets focused, still a very squishy champion.
Yeah, I mean, especially if he groups with his team, because half of his Hullbreaker item will cease to exist, right? He will not get all those extra resistances. He will not be able to survive as long as he'd like to. So that's why split pushing is the way to go for him. But no, I'm kind of... I don't fully agree with the no objective on the map, because right now if you lose a fight and even if 1 or 2 people survive, you're losing the game.
Ooh, a quarter trying to buy space and time, but it's not going to be enough. Gets knocked up, although hold the phone. Cozy able to do so much damage. The fight has died out of nowhere, and WLG going to call in the TPs from Mentos. They managed to change the tempo of the game, winning a couple of fights in a row, but Back to the Game are still lethal.
Yep, very close to getting a couple of kills over there. It could be game ending for both of those teams, but look, the one getting ahead right now is Sisyph. He's still in the top side, he's still collecting waves, collecting turrets, and I already said about how quickly they can make those towers melt, and WLGaming are not allowed to reset.
Not allowed to reset, being chased down by 3. We've seen the danger that these members can cause. Lothan, so scary. Quadra in that big Baron fight, if left untouched, can absolutely obliterate the side of WLG. And again, a trade for nothing right now. The gold ever so slightly in the lead for Back to the Game. The first time we said that all map long. And Sizith able just to get that split push going. We talked about the 4-1 rev. We're starting to see it come through.
Yeah, I don't think that gold matters in long game edit. I think the only thing that matters is executions and maybe level. Sizith still a level behind Mentos. He has been excellent all game long, but simultaneously Sashku level 16 somehow. He has 2 levels over Carnage, and that's an extra 10 seconds cooldown and an ultimate. All of those seconds add up and matter so much more than you think it would otherwise. Some penetration comes through for the side of WLGaming. Mentos has the duel. A full mortal reminder for Ecstasy as he completes his 4th item. And all of them know that one single right click can change the trajectory of this game, can change how you start this best of 3, and nobody wants to be the one doing a fatal mistake.
Ooh, Sizith moving forward. Chipsy could be in a little bit of trouble here. Recorder actually going to be the one that has to back out first, as we do see the similar play from before. Cozy in the bot side, going to be matched by Babista.
It's going to be very hard for Babista to match him. Looking at some chip damage already going through. And the rest of them Back to the Game keep the pressure up. They still want
Cozy's dead. Babista's got the kill on the Fiora, and this opens up a massive opportunity for WLG.
Yeah, Bobista doesn't even push the next wave, he just instantly resets, ready to threaten for the teleport, ready to help his team have a man advantage. Now the next Drake has already spawned, that's the 6th Drake of the game, and WLG have a man advantage for the next 35 seconds.
What can they do with it? Dragon gonna be spawning, will be soul point for WLG. Looks like they're gonna just send the Azir down. They need to be careful to not get caught here though. Well, they are not full membered. Jack's walking over as well to keep that TP. Cozy has TP up in 18 seconds. You have to keep an eye on that one. Dragon going to be taken by the Azir. Back to the game, forced away from the Baron once more.
So they start immediately, they're looking.
Oh, Shaz-Q potentially in some trouble here. Locked down, very tanky though. We'll be able to buy some space with that blast cone. And now the Baron started this one looking for WLG. TP available for Cozy. Baron going down real quick. Style. Look, not going to get the steal. Luista going to secure it. And Shaz-Q down immediately. But loaded on the backline. Looking to get aggressive. Here's the TP from Cozy. Getting into the fight. The damage is massive from Zizit. Takes down another. And it's now a 3 versus 4.
Oh.
Back to the game. Looking to close this one out. Bista getting low. Cozy in tow. Can they find the last bit of damage? They will do just. A little bit more time needed to pick up this one. Accorder not able to stop the base. But Cozy chasing down Bista. It's like stalking a gazelle. Should be able to pick up this one slowly but surely. Will finally make the presence done. And now we see Sid on this bot side as well, pushing in against Ecstasy. Gets the kill, and this could be back to the game, going all the way home with it.
Yeah, I called the Rakan flank, but WLGaming could not hear me, and that was an excellent flank from Accorder, who secures, I feel, the victory for his team. The kill score is dead even, but that matters not. What matters is who collects that big crystal. Wait, they're not going for the end?
Oh, they're not going for the end. They didn't feel confident. We're still in the game, Rev. WLG have another chance.
I'm not sure why did that happen, but now 2 inhibitors are down, no Baron buffs for WLG, and they're kind of called to the race. It's in Back to the Game's hand. They have completed a lot of items. Look, Loden is full item, 1 whole item ahead from his enemy counterpart. Very close to that 4th item, the Yone from Street as well, and we see that Yone does not need a lot of items. He's not just going for extra resistances, for extra survivability from this point onwards, and he's gonna be so annoying to deal with.
It's tough. It's tough at the moment. Nice edge is the game. I feel like one team fight, as you said, will end it, especially if Back to the Game pick up another win. But WLG, they have tower taking potential. The inhib is open as well. Definitely not out of the realms of capability that one team fight for them could end it all.
Yep, especially since Bobista somehow can still outplay Cozy. Cozy, 4 items strong, still loses to the Jax. It's still a skill matchup, and I was mistaken. Or maybe Bobista is just more beast than Bob right now. The rest of them are there, they're there to support the AD cards as well, but the Kai'Sa, we know how hard she hits. It's like a truck, and he can still farm up to complete an Aguilar. 6 items. There's the boots upgrade when you go the Berserker Greaves. On the other hand, Ecstasy is still looking for that Bloodthirst, and the components are so expensive, and he doesn't even have, sorry, the space to go for them. So for the next 2.8k gold, he's gonna be there sitting on components. And will he have time even to complete his last item? I don't know.
Close game, tense moments, no objectives at the moment, except for towers. I just feel like both teams are wary of it. 1 minute 30 before Dragon, and I feel like Dragon is now just a bit of a ruse, Rev. I don't feel like this is going to be a game changer, more just an opportunity for both teams to have a team fight.
For sure. But if you're WLGaming, do you even risk that team fight? Do you even risk extending yourselves all the way there? Because there are still ways for Back to the Game to just go through and end the game. There's only 1 tower. Everyone's so damn tanky right now. The Fiora, I don't know how much resistance, I don't know how much effective HP with the Sterak's as well. I don't need to talk about the Sejuani. The Yone has the Immortal Shilbo, has the Jackshaw, will go towards the GA as well. Zonia's, Loden, and even Accorder can provide so much more health for his team with the Redemption plus Solari combo. So everyone just looking to secure their base. WLGaming does not even think about going further than this point.
They will have to switch up the plan a little bit though, because Cozy is pushing on that side wave. Babista going to be moving towards it to counter. Did previously get that solo kill. However, now full items on Fiora. Level 18 as well. Woo, it's risky.
Yep, it's risky.
It feels tense.
And it's still anyone's game somehow. We're 40 minutes in. If you're gonna ask me, like, gun to my face, who's gonna win? I won't answer, man. I'll just accept the fact that my days are over. The inhibitor should be spawning in around a minute and a half, 2 minutes time, but I don't know if WLGaming still has enough time to go there and bounce waves. The Emperor Star has self-destructed. The Baron will spawn in a minute's time, and I think that's gonna be the last future objective. It must be! After 2 other Barons, after 7 Elemental Drakes, this should be the final nail of the coffin. You
would think. We also thought that the game would already be over because Back to the Game could have potentially do it for the end, but they didn't. In the final moments there, they decided to back away from it, didn't want to risk it all. And we are going to see Baron in 30 seconds. Neither team surrounding it, but obviously from a vision point of view, Back to the Game very much set up. Very little vision from WLG at the moment. They are going to be walking completely blind. A risky affair if they do choose so. But what is the alternative, right? Give up Baron, open up the pressure from Back to the Game already. It doesn't seem plausible. It's Back to the Game stepping forward, starting to claim the space.
Not wise as well. Look at Cozy, he's still bottom. He knows that he can keep pressuring the bot lane. Inhibitor has just respawned, and I think that he can even ignore all of the waves, ignore everything, and deal with a Troc that messes with your team's abilities to inhibit Mega Minions. The Baron is almost down, and WLGaming.
Oh, and they sent 2. They send the Azir as well. They're looking for the kill onto Cozy. They get it. The TPs could be utilized here, but Back to the Game, they have full control over the Baron. They need to get a way. Right now, I was going to say they have to maybe look for a fight, but they don't. They just need to leave. Back to the Game are remember down, but is this the time for WLG to open up?
Sisyph can even teleport bottom lane. There's no inhibitor there. I think he can go and push towards the end. There's no teleport for WLG, and they don't have the power of the Baron recall. But they don't think about it. They don't want to risk it. They just want to play the fight. They are outnumbered in the up-and-coming fight, though. Can they outplay the man disadvantage?
Is there even a potential Team Liquid angle here? Right now, just the inhib going to be taken. Back to the Game. I feel like they're going to go for it. They're going to go for it. They're looking for the TP. It's going to be coming through. Sisyph for the back door, potentially. Now they just need to stop WLG from basing. Mentos, I don't even know if they're even aware. They're not even recalling at the moment. They're just still in the middle of the fight. Sisyph is already on the tower. It's going to be over. The recall is too slow. Sisyph will take it. The Nexus is coming through. The damage is there, and no one can contend.
Oh, they found the angle I was looking for, and they get the first game. After 33 minutes of a back and forth banger, Back to the Game, get the series point.
It wasn't smooth, it wasn't clean, it wasn't easy, but it was a great game. Back to the Game, picking up the first one of this series, as said by yourself, Rev. WLG, a really good first game, a really good start, but they need to find that extra little bit more to keep themselves in the series and go to game 3. We're going to have a quick break. When we come back, we'll have game number 2, which could potentially be the last one of the day. Hello, and we are back once again. And we're just waiting for the draft to begin. Game number 2 now, Rev. Obviously, WLG, backs against the wall. They have to win now. There is no opportunity. Back to the game, looking strong, looking good from the first game. Are there any adaptations you want them to make? Because I'll be honest, I'm now thinking about the draft again. And WLG banned Poppy, which just kind of left open the Fiora even more so than maybe before. Obviously, they had to blind pick, so it wasn't like they could have just predicted it. But there's an angle where, you know what, maybe that could have been the perfect slot.
I mean, I don't think that the Fiora was the biggest issue, mostly because Bobista is an absolute monster and he was slapping her left, right, and center. What I think was the issue is kind of some weird tempo movements, I mean, indecision from the side of WLGaming, where they had a lead and they would spend the extra seconds they would gain on the map doing absolutely nothing. Carnage was a little bit lost in the mid game, I feel like. And although I love his guy, he's a mate of mine, I will be the first to criticize him when he's not playing properly, and I feel like he was not, right? Last game, he was getting a kill, then randomly going topside, there's Drake up, we have a Drake advantage, we have Prio, mid and board. So there were a plethora of weird decisions there from the side of WLGaming, and I feel like their inability to really read the map and adapt to the state of the map was eventually what allowed Back to the Game to claw their way back. And even with that, up until the last moment, we saw that WLGaming were in a position where they could almost threaten the enemy Nexus as well. So the game's still wide open. I am not completely disappointed by their performance, especially in team fights or let's call it their mechanics. But I want them to kind of wake up. Now we're getting closer to gamer hours, so you don't have the benefit of, okay, it's early, and try and play a coherent map play, not just go for the serotonin plays or everyone playing for themselves. I want to see them starting to play as a team.
Yeah, now we're going to see Shasku picking up the Vi here, no more Sejuani. And so we're going to see Cozy locking in the Misfortuna Classic. Back to the game, nothing too surprising here. Well, what's the time in Greece? Is it about 2:15 at the moment?
It's 3:15.
3:15? Yeah, no excuses for them then. That's
it's over. They need to lock in now or never. Of course, they still have on the back of their heads, like most of them will be in the roster for their Winter Split, the Pro AM Cup, for the GLO. But they, of course, want to have as much practice as possible versus all of those like bigger, quote-unquote, teams like Back to the Game, top 2 team in the Ultra Liga, nothing to scoff at. So they want to continue playing here.
Yeah, we are going to see the Hui coming out from Sith. We saw a Hui the other day. It just looked unfair to play against, to be honest. It was kind of almost not fun to watch because people were dying before they could even see Hui. And it was a bit like, what do you do? Like, what do you do in this game? You know, it's a little bit crazy, but it's going to be matched by Mentos picking the Corki there. No Azir, as it was taken off the table. There was a hover of Yasuo. I was getting a bit excited by it, but it's not going to be for now.
Yeah, let's not forget, however, that Mentos is one of the Hui, quote-unquote, one-trick ponies in the EPL. He has an excellent Hui. He knows the combos. He knows how to play the champion. So I do think that he knows how to play against the champion. Plus, he plays one of the most disgustingly broken champions of the meta. Like, I'm playing in my Piccolo Corki in an autofill lane and I'm still doing fine, so you know that there's something wrong with that champ going around. Looking forward to see if the latest nerfs meant anything or if it's still there just dominating everyone. Thing is, what do you pair it with? Because you have still allowed your top lane and jungle to be completely open. You will get a couple of bans on your top lane, on your jungle, sorry, of course, because we see the Vi already locked in, you have immobile carry, so the Jarvan is out of the question, but you are red side as WLGaming, so I'm looking forward for a potential, I don't know, Malphite pick, but would you like Bobista to be on Malphite? That's the next thought I have.
For me, no. I am surprised that they banned the Gangplank. Like, that's a very niche decision, you know.
He's a Gangplank player, so
yeah. Like, it makes sense. It makes sense, as we are going to see Carnage pick up the Volley Bear. So something a little bit different, right? This is not the pick that we see very often, right? The Stormbringer himself is a little bit
I would say, kind of adjacent to the meta. I think that it always has a moment where it could pop into the meta, but isn't priority pick at the moment. However, what I love about Volibear is the tower dive potential.
Yeah, for sure. He's very strong. If you manage to get him rolling from the early game, it's very hard to deal with him, right? So it is a threat, and Carnage is a player that is kind of the same as the Volibear. If he gets himself rolling in the early game, that's fine. But I think it's kind of also a flex pick. I've been seeing some Volibears in the top lane, you know, with the arena build going around, the World of Ages into Navori Quick Blades, with the Jack of all trades, so you suddenly get a lot going there. But if you lock the Queen here, God help me, and you don't slam the Malphite, I don't know what you're doing.
I'll be honest, the Renekton pick, I don't love it on the basis of the fact that Volibear could be a flex. I feel like Volibear absolutely shreds Renekton. It's not even particularly fair. And yeah, I do imagine that there could be a world where Carnage now gets the pick. Although it does look like they are quite happy to just take the Volibear in the jungle. They are hovering a lot of top laners at the moment. And hey, you know what? It's Babista. Bring back the Jax.
Yeah, it's still a skill matchup, a little bit more Jack's favorite, because, you know, you have a huge duration for where the counter-attack is still lingering, and there's not a lot of ways for you to, as the Renekton, suddenly use the Ruthless Predator without the enemy expecting it, maybe in the midst of the fight, but the more you don't use it, the more you skip up on dealing damage yourself. Now, the bad thing with the Jax being locked in is that you are providing a lot of use for the Braum. You can't get through the Braum very easily, you have to run through him, there's the Glacial Fissure, there's the Q as well, all of that slow, so if you're using your counter-strike just to avoid getting CC'd, you know, you're skipping out on a lot of crowd control and a lot of damage that you could be dealing. But it's still fine in isolation, so maybe they're looking to try and dominate in isolation this game.
And I also like the Braum into Volibear too, because like not only is Volibear quite annoying when he charges at you, because obviously if you CC him, he gets it back, but slows are really effective, and then obviously you can kind of wait out for the CC part of it. Also, just any sort of auto attack based CC I think is always good when there's a lot of melees in the game, and locking things down like the Corki as well will be pretty nice, and the Kaisar even, who will be potentially trying to jump around the map. So I think Braum has a lot of utility in this game. I think very, very good actually against Kaisar in general. Katie and Rain can just be completely blocked. So I do like the pick for the most part. I will say from the other side though, back to the game, they've gone for a very early game focused build, which I don't necessarily love for them, because like they've got the Vi, they've got the Renekton. If they don't do well early and they fall behind at all, it feels like you're putting a lot of pressure onto Sizzith and a lot of pressure onto Lothan, which is fine with this team, but it makes it much harder for them to win. And if we look at how the game one went, right, where it was very close all the way up to 42 minutes, the advantage really goes to WLG for me.
Yeah, I mean, hypothetical, right? Here are always, once again, betting us back to the game that the enemy can't really run them up properly. We saw that time and time again being the case. So you're kind of testing the limits maybe a little bit. You are in a best of 3. You do have the leeway of losing one game, it's still big in your hand. So if they believe that, hey guys, it's whatever, we're better than them, then I can see that as being an angle. So let's try and see what can we get away with. Let's try the strat kind of worked in in our scrim, so we want to see if we can bring it forth in an official game. I'm down for it. Also, it gives a lot more chance for WLGaming to actually get a game for us to get a game 3. So I'm really down for it. Thing is that I still feel like they're kind of scaling fine in the late game. They do have the engage with the Vi and maybe with the Renekton. You do have the pill. And your 2 carries, there might be only 2, they might be mobile, but they sure as well know how to deal damage.
No, that is for certain. Like the bullet time can never be understated, and well, boy, pick a spell and he'll do damage with it, you know. It's a sentiment where they got a lot of options, they got a lot of range. I think WLG, the biggest thing that they actually might struggle with is that range disadvantage, right? Because, yeah, like walking into a Hui is scary.
Yeah. And you want to be running into them, right? So if I'm looking at the game from that angle, if I'm thinking that WLGaming will not find flank angles like jump opportunity on the enemy team, then it's harder and harder for them to play. How do you run through, make it rain, all of Braum spells, all of Sisyph zone control, you know, the E spell from Hui is very, very good in creating space for your team. And the Renekton as well. You see Renekton popping the Dominus, suddenly the rage goes up, his spells gets upgraded time and time again. So how do you run through all of these to deal with the carries?
Well, it's a question that we don't have to answer. The people in the game have to answer, Rev, you know? So fortunately for us, we can sit back and relax and see how it ends up going. But at the moment, we are going to see junglers both starting onto the bot side. What did she say?
Yeah, we can also yap over it, so, you know, it's a win-win. It's a perfect job, right? Like, how can we this already? We can watch video games, yap over it, and get paid. I don't know. So,
and also, like, I feel like the nice thing about being a customer is, like, you get to critique, and then, like, you can almost go back on your critique as well, right? You could be like, okay, this is what we think is going to happen, then it doesn't happen, and you're like, oh, well, this is why it didn't happen how I predicted, as we are going to see Chispy getting engaged on their quarter, and Lothan just able to have a lot of priority in this lane.
I also love, you know, the phrase, that's all in theory, but sometimes, you know, in action, everything's different. People are not robots. In a perfect world, and all of those, you know, catchphrases. We are spoiled for choice. But yeah, in that game, both of the junglers pathing top, no really messing with Carnage this game around. I'm looking forward to see what his build gonna be. The PDA doesn't really give me a clear insight. So he could be like the off-tank build, the Sunless Sky into the Frozen Feast or whatever it's called. Or it could still be the TikTok arena build if you think that you will have the income to play the game. Oh, Sid. That hit me.
Yeah. Damn. Went a little bit far out the way there. But Cozy is having a bit of a decent time against Vista, right? At the moment, the wave doesn't look great for him, I will say that. Maybe needs a little bit of assistance from Shazku, but has managed to keep themselves in the lane fine and dandy. As we are seeing not the same energy, I guess, on the bot side, right? It does feel like XC having a little bit of a tougher time against Lothan, but we might see our first gank right now, Rev, on the top side. Both junglers are moving towards it. And it will be WLG that are spotted out on the ward. Carnage able to get aggressive onto the Jax, and I think we'll get them low enough. Abista having to walk away as Carnage going to be moving forward. It's now going to be the stun onto Shazku, but it's not enough to take down a kill. But pressure is maintained for Back2TheGame.
Yeah, and although Cozy needed to spend his flash earlier, that's equalized now. Very nice gun from Shazku, who skipped 2 camps in order to be there in time and create that opportunity for his team, and still managed to secure at least 1 scuttle grab. So that's a big W for Back2TheGame, as they are kind of cheating their way through the game and still they're not getting punished for it.
Just like cheater recalls, sometimes you can get those small advantages. The Shazku going to go back to his own jungle camps. Carnage obviously going to be the much faster clearer, right? Volibear is just really, really quick on those camps, especially the multi-camps when you get that passive stacked. And also should be able to be pretty good at taking those dragons as well, right? Frenzied Maul just gives you so much healing. As in this top side, Cozy going to be able to avoid the counter-strike from Ballista. As order restored in that lane. Early dragon going to be spawning at 33. I do wonder if the Volibear goes for it.
Yeah, I mean, he can, right? But does he really want to? His team, they have the Jags, they have the Corki, both side lane menaces. I can see him just power farming his way through the second clear of the jungle, and if he gets 2 clears and then gets 2 grabs, he should be at level 6 very early in the game. So that's a very nice angle for Carnage to be able to unlock his champion, to be able to unlock all of the dive potential. And that's also very easily communicable for your team, right? You say, okay, grabs are spawning, start stacking waves. Then in the next 2 waves you can dive the enemy, and there's nothing they can do about it except maybe flush away.
In the bot side though, it is WLG that have been pushed forward. Shazku is in the area. The Volibear is actually going to start this dragon. They are going to go for that early Drake stacking. Volibear should be able to pick this one up very easily. Unless Shazku decides that maybe it's worth the pressure. They are starting to hover around it, but first move is going to be for WLG's bot lane.
Yep, this is already there. Shazku's still in the area, still waiting now. His mid lane has started the team, and Loben out there.
4 versus 3. Chipsy going to be getting aggressive onto a quarter. Will be able to get a bit of damage onto the Brom. They've got the first blood though. Mentos going to be picking that one up. Sidith now trying to walk back to the lane. They get one on the bot side as well. And right now, WLG starting off how they ended the last game. They're picking up a couple of kills.
Yep, somehow WG, they're winning out in every single early game
Back to the Game are testing the waters, and the alligator is not on their side here. 2 kills, plus a Drake, and an excellent start for WG.
Yeah, the early plays definitely not favouring Back to the Game, as we are going to see Wabista. Damn, already getting the dominance out of the Renekton there. See, there's no ultimate here, no Spiraling Despair. Will take quite a bit of damage, but has a lot of members to help out. Shasku going to be diving forward, looking for more. The Severing Bolt not going to land. And Chipsy finally making their presence known will ward away any further play. So this is going to be the Herald, the Rift Grubs started by Shasku.
Yeah, by default, Braum is better than Leona when you're not doing anything. Creates way more space. Leona needs to actually be active on the play, so that's right now in favor of Back to the Game, who got Mentor's Flash. Mentos was pressuring with no items, he just had a tier and a longsword, and still he was pressuring Sisyph so much, so you see that he knows exactly the weaknesses of the Hui champion. But I'm really looking forward to see what he can do later in the game.
And Chipsy trying to get a bit of pressure up onto this top side. I don't know if it's necessarily going to pay out as they do go aggressive onto Shasku. Shasku's health bar dropping really quickly. Carnage with way too much damage will be able to pick up that kill. No grub secured though, but a kill does keep the tempo. And now maybe they can even get this gank off on the top side. Cozy dashing the wrong way here, does not clear out of the counter-strike, and now the dive is ensuing. Babista able to move forward, will be able to pick up this one, and Carnage gets out for free as well. So WLG really utilizing that early game and building more and more of a lead. Now 1.7k in the lead.
4-0. Everyone's struggling in the top side from WLG. 2 deaths for Tashku, 1 death for Cozy, who got dived, and now the wave is in a very bad spot for him as well. And WG are kind of running the game again. They are in that comfortable 1.5k gold territory. Thing is, can they accelerate? That's my question right now. Because if they don't, that Hui plus Misfortune combo can be deadly, and that Misfortune is over 26 ahead already.
Okay, a couple of technical things are going on, and then we are going to see another play around that bot side. I do like that Chipsy and Carnage are roaming a lot together, right? I think this Volibear Leona is just got so much setup power, and obviously, as we talked about, the early game Volibear can deal quite a lot of damage. Shasku might actually be contested for this red buff.
Yep, they are going in. Chipsy is still looking for those angles. No level 6. Carnage has that level 6, but another thing, you want to spend it here. Nice smite.
Oh, Carnage, I believe, did manage to steal it, but actually might be paying the price for it. Carnage just completely removed from the game. No opportunity to get out there. I think also did use the Stormbringer. Wasn't able to get over the wall.
Yeah, I see the cooldown being down. It's unfortunate. You do get a red buff, but that's not the price you wanted to pay for that admission. Kill goes towards the Misfortune, so that's kind of the worst case scenario. Maybe not exactly worst case scenario, that would be you're losing the red buff as well, but it's getting very close to that worst case scenario.
Redemption going to be needed.
The
See
item?
if it can come through. Yeah, maybe, to be fair, actually. I feel like that item is really underbought these days. You know, when it first came out, I feel like people were really into it. I feel like now the only champion that builds it is Ivan.
Oh, Rakan. I always build
sorry,
on Rakan second, yeah, because Rakan, you know, he's not spoiled for choice. The Warmox was never the best for him. Yes, he liked the movement speed, but the rest kind of whatever. I do love starting with the Solari, unless I'm really far ahead. If I'm really far ahead, I do go for the Ziggs, and then you go Redemption, because you engage, you group everyone in, and then even if you die, you can still support your team.
A little bit of Rakan strategy there. As Back to the Game, they got that sixth sense, you know. They're seeing this coming. They don't want to necessarily overstep. Nice play from a quarter to get that vision, and then we'll be able to just back away. So, really, really well played from Back to the Game. I don't think there was a ward that they did step over there, so it was just kind of having that sixth sense. Dragon is going to be the next port of call for Carnage. Has picked up one, keeping that early Dragon stacking. And you know what? It's what we talked about last game. We said we wanted to see this happen from WLG. The fact that they're doing it in game 2 with this early pressure it's showing a bit of growth.
Yeah, for sure. They are looking to go towards the traditional way, you know, start scaling up, play with the Drakes, play with some late game win conditions. So that's very nice for them. My question is, will they play for the next scrubs as well? Sashku will have first move over there, and I think that the answer is no, seeing that Carnage has already started channeling his recall. You are giving away some mob control, which can be scary. Of course, if suddenly a team with 6 drops is being left alone with a turret, you can see all those extra gold being funneled into enemy pockets. But for now, you are still holding firmly control of the late game win conditions.
You're right now back to the game. Able to take down those grubs. We'll get all 6. Very nice buff for the tower taking potential. We'll have to watch that in the later stages. We are seeing the trade for the 2 dragons, and it's going to be Infernal Soul. So definitely one that we talked about working, worth fighting over. And as we said, damage never falls off.
Yeah, never falls off. Only scales, always and forever.
Really kind of going with the whole, like, attack is the best defense kind of energy for League of Legends. Is Bavista might need to get a kill here if he thinks he's getting out, although actually the flash and leap strike will give him enough distance.
I mean, I don't know if attack is the best defense, but the enemy can hurt you if you're dead, right? So, you know, sometimes we say that in real life you shouldn't isolate yourself from people, you shouldn't push them away, but it seems that in League of Legends you should push them into the river so that they'll drown. But Vista teleports bot lane, and that's kind of scary.
Yeah. Like, into 3 members here? Like, I get it, like, to save the tower, but that tower is not going to stay alive very long, and there's still 3 members here. We are seeing Carnage and Gypsy make their way down, but I don't think they're defending this tower at all. They're just going to have to try and go for the counter play.
Ooh. They have defended the tower successfully. Still they're standing with a slather of HP, but they have still given most of the gold that the tower carries on it to the enemy team. Wait, Bobista will get stunned, but Gypsy is looking for the angle.
There's the counter strike and the land onto a quarter. Quarter going to be going down really, really fast. Gypsy taking a decent amount of damage from Lothan, but it's nothing they're too concerned about, and I do feel like there's a world where, you know what, maybe WG could have gone a step further, maybe even dove a Lothan here, but they decide against it.
They're getting 1 kill, however. They're getting themselves fed, and that's what's important, because they are still scaling, right? The Kaisa is not the strongest champion early on the game, especially when you pair her against a Misfortune, but she will scale. She will become that annoying poking champion who can go in and execute, and now they're looking to execute Lothan, who got the first tower.
Lothan is going to be able to pick that one up as right now. Ecstasy looking for it. Will they be able to get it? Does have Killer Instinct. Does not need it though. Will be able to kill off Lothan with the Acathian Rain. So, with that being said, they do pick up a Lothan for the first brick. I feel like the first brick is worth though, because it has brought the gold back to only 600 now.
Yeah, it's very important. Look, he just resets, he gets the free boots, and also completes a full BF sword. So he has a lot of raw stats under his belt right now. He should be looking very strong. Now with him respawning, I'm thinking if Back2TheGame wants to play around the Rift Herald, no flash for Lothan, which is a very important cooldown to be missing, and no ultimate as he used it to clear the wave. So you are missing a lot from your power balance, but you're still first on the play, and without having anything to do in the bot side, since you don't want to be over pushing so early in the game.
Ooh, Bavista taken pretty low here, Cozy. Up the Dominus, and they are just going to put pressure onto this tower, and it feels like this time around Bavista has been targeted a lot by Back2TheGame. They are really putting pressure onto the Jax. They're stopping him from getting very far ahead, and they're starting to pick up these towers around the map, which obviously is giving a nice influx of gold. It will be traded for the bot tier 1 as well, but with the Herald picked up, I feel like we could be in quick stead to see the mid tier 1 fall too, Rev.
Mid tier 1 or top tier 2 as it costs more, but there's an engage I feel. Gypsy is looking for something. Chasku is dying.
Shazku is dying and will, the easiest pickup for Mentos in his life, takes down the Vi, and that means no Rift Herald to spawn at the moment.
Yep. Now you can use the Rift Herald, but you are losing using a lot of map state, at least for Sisyph, who is kind of AFK his lane today. He's just looking at mid lane, clearing waves, still getting out-farmed somehow by Mentos, who is playing one of the best Corki games I've seen so far, at least after the nerfs. But maybe the just farming will not matter, as WLGaming has a huge pressure point coming up with the third Drake already spawning.
WLG, very high pro on this one. Will be sole point if they can get it. It does look like Shazq gonna maybe try and go in for the steal here. The setup is there. Ballista moving down as well. Doesn't have TP just yet. TP coming in from Cozy. A 5 versus 4 at the moment. Mentos trying to dish out a decent amount of damage. The Dragon is the prize. Carnage looking. Will they be able to get close enough? 1,700. It's going lower. It's going lower. And it is gone. It's taken by Shazq. And the fight will start. Ballista jumping in. Cozy going massive onto the backline. Getting so much damage down as Chipsy left to the Wolves. Will be able to flush over the wall and stays alive. No one falls in that team fight, but the Dragon secured by Back to the Game.
How is everyone still alive? Back to the Game getting that Drake means that they are winning out overall in this fight. But Vista has the power of the teleport, will not use it, as the mid lane tier 1 will drop down immediately. Every health will lose half of its HP. And a Calder might be looking for an extra crash.
Tier 2 is crashed into. Decent amount of damage. Will take it to half HP. Back to the Game, keeping themselves very much in close stead with WLG there. The denial of the Dragon, I feel like, is massive, Rev, right? We were on the potential for a 21-minute Dragon Soul. Now it's been denied.
Yep, very nice denial as well, especially considering that Big Volibear with that build we start to fall off, right? It's a very early game champion. From this moment onwards, his job is going to be like the Renekton's, but he's going to be slightly worse at it from a Renekton always, and we saw that range advantage working wonders for Back to the Game. Sisyph, maybe he did not collect any kill or assist, but we saw how crucial he was in that fight, creating space.
Right now though, Gypsy could be in trouble here. Taking quite a bit of damage. TP going to be utilized by Ballista. They're going to go aggressive onto Sisyph, and Sisyph in major trouble there, will be picked up. And a fight that started over absolutely nothing goes the way of WLG.
Yep, very nice trade. As the moment I say something good about Sisyph, you know, that's the one power that casters have, apart from judging players, is the caster curse. Oh yes, or pausing the game as well. Let's not forget about pausing the game. All in all, we have a lot of powers. So very strong professional
some
casting.
might be mythical, some might be unknown. You know, like.
Yeah, but you know what? From that moment onwards, I started believing in the caster curse. Like it can be. It happens so often.
Yeah. I guess it's. I do wonder what, like, it is a bit of a weird phenomenon, because I feel like I can't think of a time where it happens in sports as much, where it's like, you talk about someone being amazing and then they have like a really bad play or something, but I feel like it happens all the time in League. So, yeah, who knows? League of Legends cards maybe just built different.
Yeah, does it happen in other esports though? Do we know, like,
I'm trying to think. I'm not, I guess it's how much you watch. When I cast Valo, I don't remember that happening very often. Maybe every now and again. Maybe it actually does happen in Valo, actually. So, yeah, right now, though, Sisyph in some trouble. The caster curse might be continuing. This might be play number 2 that they are going to go down. It will be secured by Mentos. And, yeah, caster curse is real.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Mentos needed to flash for it. He just wanted to secure the kill, and that he does. Sisyph drops to do that. No other contribution to the map, apart from some slight CSing. Not having the best game after those team fights, but he doesn't really care, right? He's giving away some gold, that's given, but he's not providing, like abandoning a lot of map control towards the team. There's no neutral objective so far. He should be there, active in a minute 30, and around that timer, he should have his flash up and available as well.
And at this moment in time, it's a steady game at the moment, but WLG are actually leading. Like, they have been growing this gold lead slowly but surely. 3k now ahead. Next round going to be spawning in 1 minute. But I do wonder how much that is going to play a role, though, because if I do look at the side of Back to the Game, they still have members that are strong, right? This Misfortune is still 2 items, keeping up with Ecstasy here. Hawaii is a little bit weak at the moment, right? But I do feel like a big team fight, a really nice bullet time, could still give them a lot of favor.
I mean, at any point in the game, right? From the moment that Miss Fortune completes her first item, I feel like she doesn't get outscaled ever. Especially right now, can go towards that penetration side, and from the moment that she gets that Mold Reminder, 50% crit, her ult scales with crit, a lot of flat AD, or can even go for the Essence River to just stack on flat AD, on top of AD, especially with the Infernal Drakes being collected. It should scale up pretty nicely.
Here we go, though. Fight's gonna start. It's a 5 versus 4 at the moment. No rotation from Cozy at the moment.
Oh!
The top, though, is massive. That's a lot of damage. Chipsy in trouble, but in goes XC onto the back like Killer Instinct to get damage down. Lothar, though, still dangerous in this fight. We'll pick up another. Cozy has finally joined in. Carnage, though, will send them back to the base and looking for more. Shazku will save their ADC, will buy some extra space, but is not getting out of this one alive, Rev. A clean fight for WLG, and Dragon Priority is theirs.
My question is, who interrupted the bullet time? Because that's WLG's hero. Their HP bar started melting, but the moment it was interrupted, it was all over. No more damage for the side of Back to the Game. 2 towers immediately collected into the soul point as well. They might even start threatening the bar. I don't think they have the damage to do it, but they are there to threaten and contest the vision.
Listen, clearing out that wave. The Dragons should be taken pretty easily. Carnage just taking their time, but that will pick it up. Soul point for WLG. 28 minutes, the time on the clock where we expect the soul to be taken by WLG, which would be a really nice time. If they can get that soul rev, I do feel like they're on quick stead to maybe end this game swiftly and take us to game 3. However, a lot of trials and tribulations left. Baron is on the board. Side pressure needed. I will say the way they need to get a bit of gold into Sisyph somehow, because at the moment it feels like the Hui was able to hit a really big spiraling despair in that last fight, but the damage just did not follow through.
No, he looks to be lacking so far. 2 items for the Hui, maybe not enough. And Back to the Game are looking for ways to slow down the game, to give space for Sisyph to keep on farming, keep on collecting those items. Maybe 3 or 4 items in, he should be nigh unstoppable. But for now, Mentos 4-0-3, 2.5 items under his belt, 50 CS over Sisyph as well. He's looking like the main character of the story.
A really nice performance from Mentos. I feel like Mentos had really good games in both game 1 and 2 now, as we are going to see the Baron being started here. TP going to be utilised to ward them away, but WLG just able to take that summoner and leave.
Yep. -1 teleport. There's no teleport for Koji as well, so right now Babista can split push into Oblivion. He can split push very deep. And a very nice move from Back to the Game. They're utilizing 6 wraps as well. They're collecting a tower. They're getting the objective shutdown, which is extremely nice to have. And although WLGaming tried to pressure their exits, they're not getting anything else on the map, right? With Babista being there, with Mentos being there, that means that Back to the Game aren't losing anything on the side lane. They can just reset and come back to the mid lane. Almost
a really nice play there coming out from Back to the Game. They're seeing their moment open up and snatching it with both hands, not letting that one go. Once again, another lull. There's a lot of lulls in this one, Rev. You know, a lot of moments where teams have to just back off and wait. And I do feel like that 2 minutes 40 cooldown is what everyone's thinking about. The Dragon, the next one up, that's where the last stand I feel like is going to be made. Not to say the game will end, but I feel like if Infernal Soul is picked up, well, chances of Back to the Game go down significantly.
Yeah, for sure. On the other hand, if somehow, even while kind of losing the fight, I'm saying kind of because if they completely are decimating the fight, then the game is kind of over, right? Your base is almost exposed. But if you just kind of slightly lose the fight but collect that Drake, it's still so fine for Back to the Game, as they will see their damage starting to up. It's I think 8% per Drake, and you have a team built with flat damage. Look at that Misfortune full of flat damage. If 2-3 Drakes are getting stabbed up, 3%, yeah, okay, but still 6%, 9%. Think of it, with the Misfortune having already over 300 AD. It's gonna be very hard to survive from an auto-Q auto plush ultimate.
A 12% buff on Misfortune. That does not sound like fun. You know, that's
Misfortune is the most fed person as well. Look, she's close to 2k ahead from the next best one in their team. So he is the main character right now, right? It's all on Lothen's hand. If he doesn't get stunned again by a solar flare while trying to use the bullet time, he can be the one to actually carry this game to help his team survive through all of WLGaming's pressure.
Yeah, I think my eyes are definitely on XC though. That killer instinct could go absolutely massive. And I will say, for Chipsy, there is part of me that's like, maybe Chipsy has to just hold that solar flare, wait for the bullet time, and then just send it completely. Obviously, as we've seen previously, I was trying to say prior or previously, but I mixed them both up. It definitely can shred through the team of WLG. However, in that last team fight, it didn't make all the difference. It was still a win for WLG. As the time is ticking, Rev. 37 seconds. Items have been bought. There is no more time to get stronger. 3 items on the Misfortune. But look at it. 3 items, Kaiser. 3 item Jax. A lot of power in Bobista's hand, and he's happy to keep split pushing as well. 2 TPs are there for Back to the Game. They could match this. But it feels like they're more fixated on getting pressure on this dragon.
Yeah, if they trade the second tier tower for the Drake, I think they're gonna be happy. They know that they can't be completely winners in that scenario unless WLGaming just runs it down. And Mobista knows, he keeps on pinging the next tower. And now, just now, Cozy goes to answer. Mentos very close to 3 items as well, still has the power to teleport, but he still looks to be missing a little bit of gold.
Tier 3 is gone. Mobista can now just start to walk across. WLG just quite happy to play the slow game here. They know the Back to the Game haven't started the dragon. And it finally will be begun. And here we go, TP on the flank. That's going to be the Jax Vista behind enemy lines. Look at Lothen in this one, stepping up towards the mid lane. Chipsy taking quite a lot of damage here. Solar Flare going to be utilized already. In goes Carnage. There's Vista looking for the backline. They take down Sithith already. Bullet time over the top is going to go through. Lothen down, and Carnage moving forward. Mentos now stepping in as well. But Vista able to walk through the team, and Cozy has to run away.
Somehow they got through Lothen. Cozy will not be able to survive. 3-man strong. WLGaming will choose to go and secure the soul. They could go for the Baron. They could even start pressuring topside, I feel like. But they want to do it the old school traditional way. Go through the book of instructions and follow it step by step. Soul belongs to WLG.
They're going to go for the Baron as well. Soul point secured. Oh, sorry, Soul secured. Baron, the next on the cards. Shazq, maybe a miracle steal here. They are starting to send TPs. Maybe they want to contest this.
How? You have to run through Chipsy. Chipsy still has flash. Still has so much crowd control. Shazq, however, finds a little bit of space.
Oh, but the space is completely shut down, though. Ballista walking out just wards them away. Although Ballista is starting to lose quite a lot of HP here. This could be an opening. Shazq looking for it. Doesn't get the steal, though. Carnage secures it, but can the fight go their way? Right now, they have managed to get the stun on the Gypsy. That's one kill taken back, but in comes Ecstasy. Killer Instinct moving forward, and they obliterate Back to the Game.
I think they can just run top lane. No, Mentos resets, gets the items, teleports back with Infinity, so much damage, all those structures will start to melt, and there's already a wave there set up by Bobista a couple of minutes ago, so WG can force us to game 3.
Cozy stepping up, but it does not mean anything. Carnage going to turn off both the towers. They get the kill on the Renekton. They get the ace. They're going to get the towers. They're going to get the game, Rev. And as you said, we're going to game 3. 1-1. WLG take down Back to the Game.
Yeah, they will not be pushed aside. They are here to fight until their very last moment. WG, what a dominant display from this game. I was very bored because it started very like the previous one, but this time they kept pedal to the metal, they kept on pressuring, they did not commit stupid mistakes, and they showed that Back to the Game might be the favorite on paper, but they are very much prone to bleeding.
And I think this is exactly why I didn't love the Vi in the first pick for Carnage. I feel like Carnage likes to scrap, you know. I feel like Vi is a real burst champion, gets that hit, then kind of relies on everyone else. The Volibear able to keep going throughout the fight. So we'll see what adaptations get made into game number 3. For now, we're going to go to a quick break. And we are back once again, Rev. This is game number 3, the final game of the day. There will be no more after this. This is WLG's last chance to potentially go further, but it's the same for Back to the Game. There is no winning, there is no comeback after a loss here. It will be the end of your EPL Season 3. So, with that being said, WLG have been put back onto blue side, Rev. They're going to start it off with the Kaiser.
Yeah, it worked for them last game, yes. Ecstasy suffered heavily all the game versus Loden's Misfortune, but that's to be expected, right? Especially in such a matchup. But they don't want to give it to Loden. The guy says they pick the skills excellently, it seems. It can also give you that AP that you might be missing from elsewhere, and you can do a lot of things. However, a lot of things can be said, is what they can do with the Sedrani, with the Yone combo as well. All that extra crowd control, all that extra influx of damage can actually swing a game towards the side of Back the Game.
And I feel like Red Side has been a really strong pickup for either team here. I like the Volibear coming back again. I prefer it to the Vi for Carnage especially. I do wonder if we see a Fioraban in the second phase, because I feel like it is just a setup from Back to the Game to go as they were, and I feel like with the Jax most likely to be picked from Babista, I feel like Back to the Game can kind of see this coming maybe, but at the moment we still got a couple of picks to go through. Leona going to be picked up again, so we're going to have that one for Gypsy, which has looked like a pretty strong pick in general.
Yep, generally Gypsy looks very strong. We're going to give him that engage option, that very strong early game as well in the Leona, so you can kind of enable Ecstasy if Back the Game missteps, but that's a Nyla, and what are you pairing with? That's the new Senna, which will heal you forever, especially with Nyla's passive, but I think it's going to be banned away, no?
Yeah, it is definitely an interesting lock here. Nyla can be picked up. I feel like there are a couple options to go really, really nice. I think Rakan definitely can do a good job with it. I think also the Taric, if you want to go a little bit different here, could also potentially be a potential play. Kind of nice into melee, and obviously you have the Volibear and the Leona there. There is also, I guess, a school of thought where you maybe pick something like the Seraphine too, but I guess it depends on how much they want to go for more of a range, more of a team fight engage, and those kind of things.
Yeah, I mean, the Seraphine actually sounds perfect because you have the extra step, quote-unquote, that the Leona provides you with his body when he uses the Soul Bound or even his ultimate, so you are setting up his ultimate as well. Sounds extremely nice. The Taric is being taken away, as is Mentos' Azir. He was an absolute beast with the Azir. I'm not sure if he can play the Kolki in this game. Actually, he can play the Kolki, so maybe you should take away the Kolki too, but they are more afraid of the Hui and its disrupting capabilities when you're trying to fight.
And I think that makes sense, right? The Hui, as we said, really, really long range. And if you're going to pick the Yone, you've taken the Nyla, who's quite short range as well. You might get a support like a Seraphine, right? But you're most likely picking a melee topsider. It doesn't sound like a good option to really give that way over. The Senna are going to be banned away, though. They have been worried about both the picks that we mentioned. I guess the Seraphine, the last one on the table that we did talk about, with the Rakan also floating in the air.
Yep, there's a Seraphine. It's hovered immediately. Maybe you want to go towards something else. Maybe you are trying to look for the extra engage. Oh, there's a Khan. And I don't know, man. Whatever you wish for, you are getting it somehow. Yeah. So can you please, I don't know, wish for us getting the lottery as well? It would help. Just saying, like.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I remember saying it like the other day. I was like, where are we seeing Samira and Nyla?
Yeah, yeah.
I am a little bit surprised that we're not getting the Seraphine with the Nyla. I think it would have been a really nice pickup. But instead, they're going to go for the Rakan, something a little bit safer, a little bit more engage options, but still very close range. So the Corki going to be locked in here. I do like the Corki. I think Mentos had a great game on it last game. There was no real flaws in the design. It goes well here. It has nice range, good poke, good damage, and should be able to do decently against the Yone in lane. And yeah, I wasn't even surprised. But Mr. picking Jax, it's what I expected as we go to game 3.
Yeah, I mean, there are some staples in WLGaming, the Jax, the Kai'Sa, maybe even the Kolki nowadays. It's been left open, the last good option, so a pretty... Wait, is it exactly the same draft as last game?
Yeah, it is the same draft from them.
It is the salty rollback.
Back to the Game have gone for a flat top.
Okay, I really want to know if that's going to be Elite's Vladimir, you know, the... what you call it, the Grasp of the Undying with W max, so you use W on the wave, suddenly you're going full HP from 1 HP. if it's like that, then it's gonna be really hard to play against. At least pressure with the Jax, and Popista is doing, or at least was doing just that. He was trying to pressure with the Jax in every situation. So what can he do now?
Yeah, Vlad is a top laner. I was having to play against it a lot recently, and I was like, this champion is just disgusting, man. Like, never dies, always healing. I will say, I saw a very niche counter to Vlad the other day. I was watching Jamada, and he played Lulu into Vlad top, and it was awful for Vlad. Like, literally unplayable game. Like, it was, rough.
Are we sure it wasn't just a really bad Vlad?
It might be. It might have been, right? I can't comment on necessarily the levels that were put down. I think it was some level of like diamond, but either way, like that did not look fun for the Vlad involved.
Yeah, if I'm thinking of Vlad counters, I'm thinking of like Varus. You know, you're keeping your range, and you also have the Grievous Wound in your E when you put flames on the ground. I'm thinking about Khaled with the anti-heal in his W. Lulu?
Yeah.
Well, also, what's going on with Lulu? Because I was watching some tier lists from coaches, and a coach put out, I think you're gonna like it, a obscure jungle tier list. And he had Lulu at A, and I'm thinking, Lulu in the jungle, how is that gonna work ever?
Lulu jungle does not sound good in my mind. Like, I'm trying to think, like, how I might have to go test how you clear with Lulu later, because, like, the clear doesn't sound fast, but also, like, what is the gank? Like, you whimsy someone and like you get the clear lance slow, like, but I don't know. Like that sounds like you have a real carry laner, right? Like you play like a Kale or something, and then you just play around that. You know, I don't know. I don't know if that sounds like a maybe with like a Yasuo mid or something. I guess I don't know. That's a strange one. That is a strange one indeed. We'll have to keep our own thoughts.
Maybe with a lotion with something. I feel like I really don't know, honestly.
Yeah,
and I wanted to go and test the clear as well.
They're cooking hard.
It's J-Rat. He used to be, at least last split he was in LVP. So yeah, he is one to cook usually, and sometimes I do partake in his cuisine. Sometimes the spices are like, mwah. But this one I don't know, man. This one looks like beans on toast, and I'm sorry, I know you live in the UK, but sometimes beans on toast are just not it. I'm
telling you, beans on toast is like the most consistent meal. Like it's not like you're never putting that S tier, right? Like you're not S tiering beans on toast, but it would be forever a B tier in my mind.
Yeah, okay, but do you want the dish that describes your cuisine to be a bitter dish? Or would you go for the highest highs and the lowest lows?
I don't, like, when I think British, I know everyone says beans on toast, but, like, that's not what I would present to someone if they were like, oh, give me your best British meal. You know, that's not where I'm going with it. Like, I'm going with, like, a full roast, you know, or a full English breakfast, you know? Like, that kind of energy is where I'm going.
I can hear.
Yeah, roast.
But the thing with the food, I'm gonna copy a quote here, okay, from Brandon Malgan. When you're going and selecting for your favorite food, are you looking for greatness or to avoid disappointment?
Ooh, that is a good point. I feel like I would definitely be of the mindset of avoiding disappointment. I think that's what I would be. That's what I'd be going for. I feel it's not disappointing British food.
So you're living the coward's life. Like, no offense, but you know,
but maybe there are a lot of foodie though. Like I'm not a foodie. I just eat because I have to eat. Like I don't.
Let me just delete you real quick from everywhere. Chat. I know you're here. I know you're listening to this heresy, and we all eat because we love eating. So yeah, not because we have to. Anyways, back to the game. This game starts loading.
To the game.
With a colder.
Top side.
Yeah, they should be clearing towards the bot side. It's the most volatile lane, of course. Cozy won't play with the grasp, so he's just gonna be there sustaining, buying some CDR, and coming back to the lane. But bot lane, I feel it's pretty volatile. If Nila ends up collecting a kill or two, she can snowball pretty heavily. Otherwise, as you see, she can't really farm, and her passive goes unused. With all the extra XP not being shared, she needs the last hit for the XP to go through. And I love to see both junglers trying to influence their way in that matchup.
Sizith taking a bit of pressure from Mentos there as I'm super excited. I know you said bot lane is volatile, right? It definitely is. Definitely want to watch out for. But this top side is where I really want to see what happens, because Babista has been an important part of WLG in every single game, right? This Jax has been so dangerous, so dominant. And I feel like if they can do that again, has Cozy cracked the code maybe with this Vlad pick?
We'll see. It's going to be very refreshing teamfight as well. Carnage is invading. He will not steal the big one. Only one small one, but Gypsy is already there.
Yeah, she said Gypsy moving in. Carnage should be able to pick up this blue buff here, and now it does beg the question, what does shazQ do in this situation? Looks like they're just going to go towards that Gromp. Maybe actually just goes for the smite steal on their own blue buff here, but will not get it. It is picked up by Carnage. So successful invade.
Let's try smite strike through. And if it's completed, Babista gets that level, otherwise he might have been in trouble as Cozy deals a lot of damage with his Sanguine Pull, but wait!
Oh, bot lane got ganked! Oh no, I'm not even sure who got killed. Mid lane got ganked, sorry. And Sidith is going to go down. It was like kill and then panned over bot lane. As it is going to be a nice early gank there. We talked about how dangerous Mentos has been, getting that early lead. Oh, it's going to be that good for Back to the Game.
Yeah, especially considering that Sizif was one of the most stable mid laners in the tournament. Seeing him struggle in every game that hard, it's really weird to look at. He's behind, lagging the whole wave. Oh, the flash was not
for
good.
the return. shazQ going to try and make a play here. Mentos could get locked up. Will not, in fact, take it. And Sidith taking an extra tower shot there. Actually means that the trade goes the way of Mentos.
Yeah, not even spending the flash there. That's he's very cold right now. He is feeling it. He doesn't care about the enemy team. He has that first assist, getting the call, stacking up into Oblivion. He knows that the moment he hits that Trinity Force plus Muramana combo, he's gonna be unstoppable. And that Hyone is struggling. He just reset. He just used teleport. Will need to reset once again.
Oh, has decided against it. Is staying in the lane. Does have a quarter in support. They're going to try and make another play onto Mentos, but as we said, still has flash. Valkyrie obviously very good at getting people away from danger.
Yeah, it's weird how you want to move the supports when you are playing with an Isla in the bot lane, because you know, as a support main, especially in a competitive game, you want to be roaming the map. You're like a second jungler, so you want to be there, always influencing, always creating a mana advantage. But when you're playing with Nyla, you do want to stay with her a little bit more, right? You want to enable her passive, where you're both getting more XP than the enemy team, and you kind of want to force the enemy support to stay there as well sometimes. Right now, with Sizif actually struggling, it's going to be a very hard balance to maintain, at least for the side of a coder. So I'm looking forward to see what his solution is in this scenario, because he has the option of either trying and bailing out the rest of his lanes, or just going and forcing the bottom lane, trying to snowball himself and Loudon.
Right now, a little bit slow on the start. No early dragon, as we ever see Carnage getting the stun onto Sizif. It will just be sent straight back to the solo unbound as Babista taking a decent bit of damage there. Vlad going to use the Hemoplague as well, so going all in, and Cozy will make Babista leave the lane.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of whatever, right? Babista still has the teleport, so he can go back, get, I don't know, upgrade his null magic mantle into whatever, and come back in the lane full HP. His ultimate will be up and available. There's already the Merc threads, so he should be fine, right? And Cozy just got the prio and will reset so that he will not lose anything with him not having access to the teleport. Simultaneously, however, Carnage is not spending any time idle. He's doing the grabs, and shazQ together with his bottom lane will contest the Drake. They'll have no issue collecting it. So it's going to be a trade all across the map, and who would have guessed it? WLGaming is in the lead for 1500 gold.
And an interesting decision there. I like the last game, obviously, them going for those early dragons. This time around saying, you know what, grubs are going to be more important to us. So starting that one off. So no early soul for WLG. However, Back to the Game could potentially use the same strategy as we saw WLG use last game.
Yeah, it's going to be also hard for them to contest the break, at least the first couple of breaks, with the XP lead meaning so much early in the game. We see that Apoder and Loden are level 6. On the other hand, both Ecstasy and Gypsy are struggling to maintain the parity in the XP department. So you're trying to force the top side.
We're talking about maintaining. The lead from Carnage is still being maintained. The Volibear able to get the help of the Jax. Kills off shazq. And that is another lead garnered from Carnage's early plays.
Yeah, and you see completely different Carnage when you give him some sort of mid-prio and you give him an early game champion, something that, you know, he can skirmish around, something which he can use to create pressure just by using the kit of his champion. He doesn't need his team, he doesn't need the map state, he just needs his champion to be strong. And when he has those two conditions, he's a completely different beast himself. Bobista always being there when he's needed, Mentos being very strong in the mid lane, 20 CS up, Flash giving him a ton of prio, just enables Carnage to play his own side of game.
So they're going to have to back away there. Mentos just building that lead, already 20 CS up. The gold definitely starting to feed it, and has a cull as well. So not only in the lead, but also getting that extra bit of gold per CS. So definitely really starting to stack themselves ahead. And I do wonder, shazq, it feels like hasn't been able to really match this Volibear at all. Maybe a little bit of pressure onto Lothern could work some wonders.
Possibly. But I think that WLGaming are playing pretty safe in the bot lane. They're just farming under the dart for most of the time. They are still struggling in the XP department, that's to be expected. They are fine in the CS department. So right now, with the top lane being in a fine spot, I'd say, or maybe not. Bye-bye.
Mobista in a lot of trouble here. Cozy going to get the dive off pretty easily. Will be able to walk it out as well. And the Vlad has managed to get the first solo kill.
Can I not like speak about any single guy on the map ever? The moment I want to say that Bobista being in a good spot, Mentos being ahead, the only thing that WG has to do is not int in the bot side, so they'll go into the mid game with a very hefty advantage. But now, with the Vladimir starting to get solo kills even before his first item, it might get rough.
shazq going to be met by Carnage once again. Oh, and misses the Glacial Prison. Now going to try and get over the wall, but Stormbringer is available. Will flash as well. And Carnage now just running down shazq. Cozy, it's going to be close in the vicinity, but I don't think it makes a difference. And Cozy, you better actually stay safe because you might get killed by the Volibear too.
Oh, he is the Storm indeed. He's also bouncing the enemy top laner. He's like, your clothes are not it, my dude. You need to pay respect. And you need to get out of here. Another solo bolo for Carnage, who's dominating the jungle early game.
Scytheth trying to make something happen in the mid lane. Mental so able to trade back with so much damage, and Scytheth just losing this trade comprehensively.
Yep. Nothing he can do. Mentos extremely strong, and look, he's extremely strong while having half of his buys being inconsequential for the early game, right? The glowing mode helps you not at all in the early trades, the tier as well, the call as well. He only has a phage, and yet he knows the limits of his matchup, and he plays it in a very, very comfortable way. We are looking at Bobista, but Cozy teleports very deep into the enemy lane, and he's looking to at least collect a couple of plates.
Carnage not contesting the grubs here, which is like I guess it makes sense due to the priority that Back2TheGame have got around this objective, right? They've moved all of their members over, but a little bit surprising, I guess, that they're just giving over these grubs, not going to get that advantage. And now the question is, do they play for the dragon instead?
I mean, they should, right? They did not spend the resources to play for the Herald, so you should be doing something else. You should be using the tempo that's given to you afterwards, the extra seconds available on the map, to do something else, and collecting the Drake, equalizing the Drakes at least, should be the way to go. It's a Hextech Drake, very nice to have on the Corki, on the Jax, yada yada yada, you know, all of the champions I think can utilize that Drake. So you're looking to be fine done, but Carnage is looking for a gank, and that's a hard gank to do.
Yeah, Cozy just able to buy a bit of space. No flash for Carnage. Will finally get the stun down, but doesn't have Stormbringer either, so can't turn off this tower. Just gonna have to tank it as Cozy trying to get that last bit of heal, but Vista will pick up the kill and doesn't make it out either.
No.
A 1-for-1 and Dragon given over. Not necessarily the best decision from WLG.
Yeah, I think that's kind of weird. You're trying to force the other side. You think, okay, I don't have the tempo. Let's at least punish Cozy, but Cozy ends up getting the 1-for-1. You're not pressuring the top lane. You're not getting your Jax back in the game, or at least getting him ahead somehow. So WLG, although Carnage is still very, very strong, are seeing control being forced away from them and seeing their moves being used for nothing.
Yona knocked up there. The Kai'Sa trying to make a play forward here, but it's all in all, it is still a pretty close game, right? 2,000 in the lead for WLG. But that Vlad is starting to get scary, because one thing I know about Vlad, right, and I don't see Vlad that often, I don't play Vlad, but team fights, squishy targets, they go hand in hand.
I mean, the thing about Vlad, right, is that you don't really care about the enemy front line. You can go right through it. You can spray the Hammer Plague so wide, you can hit multiple members. Suddenly you think he's low, no, he's not low. Suddenly you think you got him, no, you didn't got him. He has still the Sanguine Pool. There's so much outplay and so much. He's so much of a nuisance in the fights. And it's it right here, like, how can you deal with that? There's nothing that you can do. He is in the Sanguine Pool. And if he's even putting slightly points, like level points, in that spell, it's gonna get stronger and stronger, and the cooldown being 9-10 seconds is way too little for you to be able to have any sort of counterplay. Look, he's dying.
Yeah, he's just diving. It's like we're 2 levels up on Ballista already, plus an item. It's just a very rough time for the Jax. Not really able to trade, can get dove very easily. And the Vlad really just flexing their power. Cozy showing that actually this pick that was maybe a little bit hidden really has a lot of power, as we are going to see actually a play around mid-load. Sithith getting engaged on by Bavista. Carnage going to look for the chase down. Will have to choose to go on the Shasky.
Oh, no.
Here comes the Rakan! The double knocker plus the Vlad. It's not looking good for WLG. 2 members down already. Carnage, persistent, will look for the kill. Finally gets the Sejuani, but it's for what cost, Rev? Another kill to the Vlad. 5-1 for Cozy. Danger lurking for WLG.
100% kill participation. He is a Dracula himself right now, and you could see it, right? The moment that Mentos used his Valkyrie, it was all over, because the Rakan was already there. The Vladimir was already there. He insta-teleports bot. He gets more CDR. He gets more items. The tower should go down. And he even, I think, collects the teleport. Oh, Mentos Flash. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh,
Can we? Oh, you know what? It's for the better that we never saw this, right? It didn't look very PG-13 from the minimap.
It wouldn't be giving hope to WLG fans if they saw that play. The Vlad is starting to scale. Would maybe even be an understatement, because already on 1.5 items, maybe looking close to 2. And this is a pick of all picks in League of Legends, right? There are some that are like carries, there are some that are early game, there are some that are set up, and then there are hyper carries. And I feel like of hyper carries, Vlad is one of the most hyper carrying hyper carries.
Yeah, I like visualizing that by saying that each champion has a curve, right? Like you see the x-axis being the time in the game, and the y-axis being how strong they actually are. Right? And some champions, they are very strong early game, some champions mid game, some champions in several points of the game, they dip, they go back up. It's like ethical. Thing is, when you get the champions that are very strong later in the game, and you suddenly accelerate that curve, you suddenly lose all hope, right? You are looking at the game, even if it's still playable, even if you know that the enemy is very prone to mistakes, you're looking at the game state and you lose all hope, and that mental disadvantage also comes way into effect, because esports are effectively sports. There are 5 players playing in each side, and if they're losing their mental strength, it's more than godly. They're losing way more grasp of the game.
I think the hyper-carriest hyper-carry is Kassadin, in my opinion.
You know what's the thing with Kassadin?
Oh, hold on.
He's melee.
Yeah, he is melee. Right now, WLG are trying to get into melee range of Shazq, who will just be walking them down. Knockup does land for a corner, and here comes Cozy. I think it might just be one that you have to leave for WLG.
Oh!
They're going to go aggressive. There's the knockup. Scissors able to catch out too. There's a lot of damage going in, but in comes the Vlad. Cozy looking for the play. Right now, though, WLG are trading even. They're actually winning the fight, but can they get more out of it? Cozy stepping forward, looking for Mentos, just going to ward them away, but Vista will finally fall down to Lothan. And it will be Back to the Game that win that team fight, but it wasn't completely one-sided.
Yeah, it was quite a nice answer over there. They got a couple of kills. Unfortunately, none of them to Mentos, as he wants to get stronger, but can't find the angles. Lothan pressuring him very, very strongly as well. And the worst case scenario is not that they're losing this fight for WG and that the enemy team is still scaling. It's the Drake, because if you can't kill Vladimir right now, where's your anti-heal? Only Leona has, and Chipsy will never get auto-attacked by Cozy, right? If you can't kill him now and stop his regen, how will you kill him with that soul?
Ocean Soul does feel like the stars were aligning the Vladimir pick here. We also got to mention, on just a very side note, just to give a little bit of a respite to the high stakes that is this game, the Sejuani picked our favorite skin. They went for the pig
Oh,
skin.
yeah, the pig! Okay, now everything makes sense, right? So, you're seeing the skin, you're seeing that the early game maybe didn't go the way they wanted, but it doesn't matter, the skin is there, the pig prevails!
No one can stop the pig, Sejuani. It is a vibe. It's a full vibe, and in orange, my favorite color. So, yeah, shout out to Shazku for that one there. As we have to now go back to the high stakes, right? It is going to be completely even across the board. Back to the Game have managed to catch up on WG, who were 2k gold ahead. And as we said, the Dragons are stacking. There is only one more needed to get that soul. Back to the Game are looking very strong and not slowing down at all. Gypsy there trying to clear out a bit of vision, and we do see Mentos getting a bit of help from Carnage to take out that tower.
Yeah, of course, it's going to be answered. From the one hand, you're getting the most important tower, that's mid lane tier 1. On the other hand, you know, you're getting objective bounties, which is very nice. The gold might look even, but I'm urging you to look at item completions.
Ooh. Team fight. Hemoblake is going to drop down onto Ecstasy. Gypsy still moving forward, will go down. Ooh, Cozy is dishing out quite a lot of damage at the moment. 2 items completed. Rithmaker already picked up, and now the siege going to continue once again.
I mean, what's the most garlicky item you can find in the game? I think that WG needs that, otherwise there's no hope.
Tower going to fall down, and now Cozy going to be moving forward. No Hemoplague, but look at the damage. The Tides of Blood able to shred through the health bars of WLG, and Lothan moving forward. Apotheosis able to pick up 1 kill. Mentos now in a really bad situation here. Core Tower will dodge the CC though, and Blood finally gets stunned before the tower. Cozy though does not care. Will just go for the tower. They pick it up, and they might even go all the way for the inhib here, Rev. They're looking for Gypsy. They get the kill, and Cozy is just on a rampage. Get the villagers out with the pitchforks, because right now Blood is scaling and scary.
But they don't even care about the inhibitor. We just crossed the 20-minute threshold and we're looking like we're 40 minutes in. Back to the Game are fully online. They're waking up. They might have been 2 hours behind WG or an hour, but it's now their prime gamer hours.
Prime gamer hours indeed. I love that concept. You know, waking up at 2 o'clock as you're up all night. And so we are going to see WLG, they need to find something, right? And I feel like this is the realms, we're getting close to the world of sneaky barons, you know? Chaotic plays, weird death brushes, you know? These are the kind of things I'm thinking at the moment that WLG might need to go around.
I'm not sure if you can find those brushes. I'm not sure if you have the damage. Yes, you're 2 items strong, almost cross the board. Bobista still struggling to complete his second item, a very foreign concept for me in this series. And Carnage as well, with him being so far ahead early in the game, it's also weird him to say to be just 1 level over a quarter. Not even 2 items completed, with Shashki having cheaper items. The only kind of respite for WG is, if you look at those completions, is that your mid laner is very strong. He's at his strongest point in the game. He's gonna get stronger from this point onward. But can he deal with the people that matter? He might be able to deal with the Yone. He might be able to deal with the Rakan. But that's not who matters. The Sejuani, the Vladimir, and even the Nyla with her W. I'm not sure if you can actually deal enough damage with just your spells.
They do ward them away from the Baron. Not going to get that one off just yet, but I do agree with you saying, Red. It's a game that is scaling, and yes, the Corki is going to be good, but there's other fears other than the Vladimir as well. The Nyla are going to be very scary. Sithith, we've seen the Yone perform and be absolutely massive. The two members in the top side lurking for it, but what are they giving up, Rev? They're giving up potentially the whole sole point here. 30 seconds on that dragon.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he can contest the tail where if Vladimir shows his face there and he's already around the area, right? He's already bot lane. You will just get, you know, some blood transfusion. Maybe you can get your blood checks in at the same time. And WLGaming are trying to force the enemy's attention away from there. They try to overload the top side, but Sisyph is playing safe. He knows it's not his time to carry. He's not the main character here. He's just a side NPC trying to assist his team into victory, trying to not be a burden, and he's excellent at that. And I think that's one of the pro players' most difficult aspects to control. You're getting to the pro level, you're getting better and better, you're challenger, you're carrying every game in solo queue, but sometimes it's not your time to shine. And that's a very important aspect of character that every pro should try and grow from himself.
Yeah, sometimes you have to be the supporting role, not the lead. But at the moment, it does feel like Cozy is having their time to shine. This is their moment on the big stage. Looking for the equivalent of an Oscars in League of Legends, the EPL All Trophy.
Is it really equivalent of an Oscars? Okay. What's a Tony then? What's the what you call the Golden Blueberry?
I don't even know. But hey, you never know. Like,
I honestly, you know, I love the analogy, but I was not prepared for it. So
I
you know.
said it and then I was like, it's probably Worlds, but it's we'll
No. Worlds is the Nobel Prize, right?
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
I think it's a little bit more precision. Oh, it's getting gold.
There we go. We talked about the death brush. That's going to work out. Pick onto a corner, and that will take a little bit of the sting out back to the game.
Okay, so we got a corner. What do we do now? Nothing, because there is nothing to be done yet. Unfortunately, that's the case for WLGaming. They need a lot more death brush like that. They need like 3 or 4 times for Back2TheGame to, you know, shut off their brains and walk into brushes. And unfortunately, Accord is not even the best member for them to catch up. No shutdown, not a lot of damage. He's just there to be an extra kind of setup for his team.
If they can get Lothan, they can get Cozy. Maybe the fight turns around.
For a moment, I thought you said that if they get Lothan, you know, they can get comfortable. Can get cozy.
Well, they'd be more comfortable, you know, if they did manage to take out Lothan. I feel like Lothan is doing quite a lot of damage themselves. Also, I feel like just Nyla in general can become really problematic in team fights as well if not focused. And then that obviously begs the question of, okay, well, if you focus Nyla, what are you going to do with the Vlad? So there is a lot of potential here. So I do think if they can Deathbrush pick up one of the laners doing a lot of damage, maybe it gives them a little bit more confidence. As a quarter was almost found again, but this time we're able to avoid it.
Are they starting the Baron? No, they're not, it seems. They're still waiting for some spikes. They're getting close to some very important spikes. 2 items completed for Bobista. Close to the IE for Mentos as well. The W upgraded for Ecstasy. He doesn't even need to complete the Nashor's Tooth. All 3 of his spells are upgraded right now in their best form. But Back2TheGame are kind of allowing the game to enter that lull state as well. They're not very worried about scaling. They know that they have the Yone. The Nile, although it's getting harder and harder to execute in team fights, it's still a very, very strong pick. And if it gets the setup it wants, her AoEs are excellent. So we're just allowing the game to be there, and I don't see them trying to pressure at any point WLGaming into abandoning more and more of space in the map.
I guess they're going to let the map do it for them, right? When we do see the Elder Drake spawning, obviously, they will have to potentially contest. So it's a game where, you know what, Back2TheGame can just play the clock. They don't need to put the pressure down and potentially give an opportunity for WLG. They can just play the timer, but WLG don't have that luxury. They need to make a play. They need to make something happen. And right now, showing 2 on bot side does open up for Back2TheGame to go for Baron.
Yep. It's a two-man Baron. It's slow, but it's steady. They're getting in there and they're forcing WG to try and answer a teleport. A very far teleport from Obista. He's trying to connect with his team, but now they can turn and play first target.
going to be joining with the TP. Steel on the mind of Carnage, looking to get in here. Gypsy trying to buy some space as well. Yone stepping out, getting some knockups in. There's loads of double grab on the Apotheosis. They've already taken out the Kaiser, but Mr. immediately removed from the game.
Carnage!
In goes the Bunny Bear. The Steel.
Just stole it!
The Steel will be had, but for what cost, Rev? Only Mentos alive.
Oh, I'm not sure how much did he save. That's the real question. But he's trying to be the hero that WLGaming doesn't deserve, but they need. With the Baron going towards Mentos, that means that you can completely end the game. Although the mid lane inhibitor is exposed, you don't have the enhanced minions, you don't have the extra tankiness and the extra damage, but you can completely decimate all of the entrances into WLGaming's base.
Formula's Blade is so good against towers. We'll just absolutely decimate the top side. They pick up one in here. They're going to get the second here as well. And it sets them up so well for that dragon. 57 seconds until Elder spawns. Potentially the final fight of this series had soon.
And it's not only the dragon. You know, you see all those wards being placed, those teleport wards. Vladimir has access to the teleport, says if not, and maybe Vladimir is not the best backdoor gaming character in the game, but he can still try and influence the map. WLGaming will collect mid lane tier 1, that's an objective bounty as well, but that matters not, as they don't have the time to go back into the base to spend all that earned money, and they have to be here. Drake, 20 seconds, and Back2TheGame knows that they can leisurely walk in as long as they clear the sides.
Cozy so dangerous right now. Tides Blood able just to push people away, force WLG back, corral them into a space. 5 versus 5, stakes are high. Setting is the river. Chipsy gonna go aggressive onto Cozy, forces out the pool already.
Obista?
Obista, big stun. That's 5 members. Is it enough? The charm going through as well, but in we go. Forward they march, and back to the game. Unstoppable in this fight.
And you call it Apotheosis, that's the spell, and that's what Back2TheGame deserves. They become gods in this game 3, and they will end it right here, right now, together with WLG's dreams about getting further in the tournament.
It is a sad one for WLG. They fought well, really close first game, really strong second game. But game number 3, Back2TheGame had the answers. They picked the picks, they did what they had to do, and they will take themselves through to the next stage of the lower bracket.
30 minutes and 3 seconds were all that needed for Back2TheGame to secure their way into the top 4, if I'm not mistaken, of EPL Season 3. They will have to go through Team Unity afterwards, so it's not going to be an easy way. And of course, there's still Zero Dynasty and Big still waiting further in the tournament. And if they want to win, they have to go through games one after the other, as I think they play tomorrow already.
Yeah, they will be playing tomorrow. They're taking on Team Unity, and we have a lot of games left. Saturday will be the clash of 0-10 versus Big to decide who will go straight to the finals, who will go to the lower bracket, and then Sunday we'll have the lower bracket finals, and then finally on Monday the finals of the EPL LOL Season 3 will occur. So a lot of League of Legends left, a lot of matches that mean more, and a lot of cool ones to come up. Any final words for you, Rev, about what we saw today?
Oh, I saw a WLGaming who kind of betrayed herself, because the team had a lot to show, but they stumbled time and time again after the early game. Still very hopeful for them to develop in the Pro AM.
Yeah.
And I am very afraid of Back2TheGame, as every time that I look at them and I see cracks in their armor, suddenly they come with, I don't know, even better armor, they come even more prepared, they have even more tools in their pocket hidden from everyone else. They are a very, very dangerous team to face.
Yeah, previous number 2 in Season 2. Will they be able to make it to number 1 in Season 3? We'll find out if you keep watching. But for now, we're going to say goodbye. We'll see you tomorrow.